Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-black perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.
All right, welcome to episode 33 of the Harsh Reality Podcast. I'm your host, D-Web, and I'm joined by my esteemed co-hosts. First off, we got the one and only, the incomparable, Mr. L. Miguel. L, you in the building, bro?
It's always in the building. You know, more consistency this year, so I'm trying to go for the what they call it, turkey in bowling. 3 strikes in a row.
I'm proud of you, bro. You're showing up to work.
Well, thank you.
And get defined like Ryo. And as you can see, Rye's out this episode again. She's playing nurse duty over there, so salute to Rye. You know, hopefully her loved ones get better soon. And Lil Rose also out. She trying to get that paper. She got a she had called in on emergency, so we're gonna be missing Lil Rose. So shout out to Gangster Boo. But I gotta welcome. We got a guest co-host, and she's also co-host of the Money Phone Podcast. Make sure y'all go check that out. And one of the old homies, go back about 15 of them, I think. And I think when I met her a long time ago, I think we had big t-shirts and do-rags and whatnot. But shout out Bailey. Bailey, what's good with you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me. You know, this fine Sunday.
Oh,
I had a rough one last night, but you know, I'm here.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we can get you. I heard you making moves. I seen you on Cannon Joint. Shout out to Cannon Hotel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you little celebrity out here in these streets.
The world is small.
Word up. So yeah, shout out to Cannon too. I had him on. I think make sure y'all check that episode out. It was a pretty good talk with that brother. And we supposed to have another co-host. He didn't show up. He might be on CPT. He might pop in a little bit later. But let me throw the disclaimer out there. By no means do we claim to be experts, just everyday people with a small platform, here to add our 2 cents to the various subjects we plan on discussing today. Also, make sure y'all go follow the Harsh Reality Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Before we begin, make sure we shout out the KWAZ Radio family. And make sure y'all subscribe to the Bitter Medicine Podcast, the pro-black perspective, the learning curve. We got Forecast Radio, Brother Bakari, and African Mind, hosted by Tanzan, the Wu-Tang Clan, the KWAZ. Shout out. And lastly, but not least, the podcast is on Patreon. Make sure y'all donate. Of course, all proceeds go to upgrading the show, providing the best content we can for loyal listeners. Also, for those wishing to reach out, leave a comment for the show. Make sure y'all drop an email at theharshrealitypod@gmail.com. Now that we're done with that spiel, let's get to the topic, shall we? And the first thing I got is everybody's thoughts. I want to hear everybody. This should be an interesting one right here, yo. The thoughts on Jim Crow Joe's emergency speech. Is it you think you guys Dems getting desperate? We do have the midterms coming up and has been looking good. We had a couple of I think governor races and things like that earlier in the year. It wasn't looking good. And could it just be something as serious as a possible civil war type of situation? I think he was calling people, I forgot the terminology he used, but basically said, like, you guys don't accept the election. You're the greatest threat to democracy. Like, we not even a democracy, we're a republic, but that's a whole nother story. But so I'm gonna go. We're gonna let the ladies first go on first topic. What do you think about the speech you heard the other day, Bailey? And what do you think could be the implications about that speech?
My first reaction to the speech was, I can't wait till this. Oh, sorry, I can't wait till this fool's out of this office. Sorry.
We can cuss. This is a cuss free.
Hold on. Starting off.
My bad. No,
You
I
ain't
can't
black.
wait.
You ain't.
You ain't black. You ain't.
I'm just so
You don't vote for
tired.
me.
I'm
You ain't black.
tired.
There you go.
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. Literally, I'm exhausted. And I just realized as I'm getting older because I'm 36. So I'm just realizing like how dumb they must think everyone else, everyone is.
Yeah, we are.
Um and I don't know, it was just I don't know. I just think it's ironic that and just the irony that to say like, oh, if you question the election, blah 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 blah, then you're against what does he say? Like against the democracy, blah blah blah. But it's like to me, you're against democracy if you only want like the one side of something, or if you only want certain things questioned. If you're telling me I can't use my mind and question things if I want to, that to me is democracy. Like you don't have to I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like you don't have to go with the flow or agree with what everyone's saying or else you are against the democracy or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's what I took from. I took from it that to me is everything that he's saying. Like the MAGA is to me. Like
Interesting.
because it's like everyone thought that Trump, cheated in 2016. For all the years they're saying Russia colluded with the election, blah blah blah. That went on the whole time. But it's like now if I don't know if Republicans question the election or whatever. Now they're just it's just so dramatic. Like, oh, now you're against Republican, you're un-American, or you go against America, da da da. Da. And really, that is America. Like, you should be able to question things and have the right
Look,
if you're
these people
curious about
just
something.
take turns cheating, yo.
Right?
You went
Yeah.
from like the
Mhm.
Bush hanging chads, and now you got these characters stuff. And to me, it's just I think democracy been done a long time. You're just watching like people taking turns cheating. You know what I'm saying? It's like may the best cheater wins. Your shot
Right.
ain't cheat well enough to me. And but this crazy how he just went up there and just like, yo, if you know what I mean, y'all are the worst people in the world. And then it backfires. It backfires every time. You saw it with the deplorable
Every
thing.
single.
You know what I mean? Like
I
you're
know
not
so many
gonna,
people who are diehard like Democrats prior to this that will say they'll never vote for one ever again.
exactly. You know what I mean? Teachers and sex change surgery. Like it's just like, what are you getting? You know what I mean? But L, what you got, bro? What you think about that? You there, L? You muted, man. I think
Yeah,
L.
yeah. We killed this guy on a regular, right? So there ain't nothing new. But I will say the alarming thing, kind of stemming that I was able to like extract from this speech, at least some of the quotables that are in some of these articles, was just the verbiage, man. Using words like extreme, you know, um, extreme, calling out something that's almost a dead topic. I think there's just a lot of pressure, knowing that you can kind of see that a lot of Democrats are swing voters right now. Like a lot of Democrats aren't happy, especially, and we're getting a changing in the guard of voters, right? These Democrats kind of appeal to the older minority who just vote in blind faith, and these young people out here like, nah, what you doing for me? Like, what you putting in my pocket? And the MAGA thing, I believe that people really felt that these people were an extreme threat, like the borderline baby, or like a splinter group of the KKK. These were just hype people trying to get Donald Trump in office. Now, granted, they did organize and storm the Capitol. But I digress. I like to see mobilization. I think if Black people had more mobilization, we wouldn't be looking for people to fix our problems. But it's more, here's this guy, coming out using these words like extreme, extra, and like I think it's extreme to go buy people crack pipes and use taxpayer dollars. That's pretty extreme to me.
Preach.
When your son is out smashing prostitutes and snorting lines of coke off of these prostitutes buns, that's extreme to me, so
Yo, and the irony with the 94 crime bill, bro. How can you author the 94 crime bill and your son tooting up, bro?
tooting up, how many exact that's extreme to me. We talking about the destruction of predominantly Black communities. I grew up in, especially like during September 11, when Giuliani was, what was he, the mayor of New York? even though Jersey has his own mayor, this is a tri-state, so a lot of people, that mobilization of policing was extreme. Like, if this is the big T, big jean era, they were stopping everybody. What's the description? Big white T jeans, everybody get it hemmed up. You know what I'm saying? So, like it's remember that movie? What's the movie with Dr. Manhattan, the old one? You know what I'm talking about? The blue dude, the all powerful God, you don't remember that? It's a superhero movie.
Blue dude. Who the hell is Blue?
You know what I'm talking about? I'm about to Google it real quick. The Watchmen. The Watchmen.
Oh,
that's the
okay.
name of it, right? And so at the end of the Watchmen, remember the dude, he fabricated them being aliens to create a war to depopulate everybody, right? And it's almost kind of like we're watching like the mix of like a bad villain scheme in like that movie Idiocracy. Like, it's so blatantly stupid.
Right.
Like, come on, like, this can't be the agenda that you use to scare people to vote for you, right? Like, you better off. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. No, I mean, yeah, like, it's been crazy. Like, literally, we've been watching, because it's always been like freedom. We've always been a country who's so obsessed with freedom, 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 and then now it's like safety, 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 and people don't realize they're giving up their freedom in the name of safety, and they don't realize like they're letting the government control them based off their fears, and that's what I believe has happened recently. Like with everything, like if you think about every facet of our life lately, it's fear, 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 and we're just allowing so many things like to be given of our freedoms in the name of fear. Like, so like even like in this conversation now, we're on YouTube. A lot of people now who has content on YouTube, they have to watch every little thing they say, because now they're filtering your words in the name of like fear, like, or not, sorry, like in the name of like, yeah, like fear, like offending, or you can't let people hear that. They can't hear that. They can't handle hearing that. Or it's just like everything is based off that. So to me too, it's like I've been watching a movie lately, because I've been asking myself, even like, like every little sickness is now like put on the news. And I'm like, well, why don't they want us to be outside so bad? Like, like we're not afraid of COVID anymore. Now it's monkeypox. Now it's this one, what was the other virus that was out that recently came and went? And it's just so interesting. I had to ask myself, like, why is like every sickness now being this big deal? Like, we don't get sick.
Yeah.
And you know what? They also it's like this one thing they just had that was like, it's just like polio, but it's not polio. I forgot what it was called. It's like all these things have the same. They remixing like stuff that's been around forever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why y'all remixing chicken pox, yo? Because that's all.
Yeah.
Like,
and why do y'all want us to like what? It's like all of a sudden everything comes out. We can't go outside, or we got to watch what we're doing, or we can't do this, or like why? Like, and since when do y'all care, like about us being sick? Yeah. Like, it's like it's so
make
weird.
Cigarettes legal, and I say this too, right? Just going back to the term to like the extreme, calling out the MAGA supporters, and really that's what the demographic he targeted, and Republicans. But we just had that gentleman, Donovan Lewis. What was he? A 20-year-old kid. No knock warrant. Police opened the door, shot him. Right. He was supposed to be putting the George Floyd, signing that George Floyd crime bill. Right. We're talking about, you still ain't saying that these kind of activities from policing, which is now probably going into 100 years of this. Humbly, probably, right. Is that not extreme? So you want to call people that don't have no impact on these people out here in the trenches with, I'm not justifying, MAGA supporters and some of the ignorant stuff they do, but everybody do ignorant stuff. I'm not absolved of doing ignorant things myself, but
we know,
but these people aren't driving gas prices up. These people aren't destroying infrastructure. These people aren't teaching curriculums such as force feeding LGBT type material to my elementary school kids. You know what I'm saying? These people aren't, they're just upset in their way, not to absolve what they do or what they say, but he don't want to put extreme titles to the things that are actually extreme. And so it's almost laughable, and I don't even know, it's almost alarming that the White House lets him go out and say these things.
I know. Yeah.
At this point in the field, like, You know, people now, like, he has so many clips, so many horrible sound bites, so many horrible the visual cues that he's just not there for them to go out and say this. Like, as a black
They can't
person,
hide him no more, yo. Don't you
yeah, they
remember,
can't
like,
hide him.
on the campaign, like, he just disappeared for 3, but people don't realize, like, Mala was out there doing all the most of the campaigning.
And
You know what I mean?
and you know what it is? She not adept to take over.
Nah.
I think, like, remember, I don't know, like, be like episode 8, 9, or 10, right? We was like, oh, this is a sham. They want to put the first black. We said it. We was like, oh yeah, he got in the office to help Kamala be president. But I don't, not to be a hater, but
Well, they hiding her now, ain't they? When was the last time
she
anybody
been
seen
hiding.
her?
She been hiding. I think the last time she came out was to say congratulate Serena Williams on her on Twitter for her retirement, right? Like,
Yeah, with him or nothing. But remember all the first speeches, she'd be like right on the left, right hand side of the man, like sitting there, with a pantsuit on,
Oh, you know where she at? She in her
gone,
big, she in her big Bergen. She done got the plugs on how to get money. She probably in all them stores, and probably writing bills on locking more black people up. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it a buck. So, like, she, it's just laughable, and it's sad because we have such a strong demographic in that black space, right? Where, our elders just like, I don't want to be a Republican, even though they have Republican values and views. You talk to most older people and you outline kind of what each stand for. Most black older people are Republicans by what they believe in. And, this dude is going out there really trying to, he's trying to hit the Republican Party hard because it ain't looking good for re-election.
Oh, sorry not to interrupt you, but even off of that, like, I've never, like I said, I'm 36. I've seen a lot of different presidencies. I mean, enough. I've never seen someone's whole presidency being based off of talking about the last dude. Like, it's all they talk about. That's it.
We were
And it's
3
like,
years, 2 years
yeah,
later.
let it go.
It's like you president half a term, and you still talk about this cat, bro.
Still
It's like you
talking
trying to date somebody and they keep talking about it's their ex and they trauma that their ex caused them. Like, shut up.
Shut up about it.
Hey, big head text. That's what this is. Hey, big
exactly.
head.
That's what gets me. It's like even all the because like throughout his presidency, I was watching all types of news. I felt like I was watching it every day. And then I'm like, MSNBC, it's all they spoke about. The View, it's all they spoke about. And then it's like they couldn't wait for him to be gone. He's gone, and that was all they talk about. It's like, let it go.
That just show you they don't have no foundation on what they're how they're operating over there. They're not doing.
Talk about Hunter. Talk about that.
Shit, I'm jealous. This is the only man that can go record his criminal activities, being the son. If that was anybody else, child, like if
sitting
that was
president.
Yeah, bro, and ain't nobody talking about the Ukraine joint. This dude was getting a check, like a 6-figure check from
we talked about it. I'll toot our own horn.
We talked about everything. We've been on it, but they don't want to listen to us. They don't hear me though.
He's sitting at the vice. What was he? A VP of an energy company in the Ukraine, and all of a sudden we going to war.
Got a degree.
A bachelor's from Dell State,
Arizona State.
He got a human resource to.
What's that one college Little Romeo was promoting? He got a
ICDC.
Yeah, he got an ICDC certificate. Getting sick.
See, that's what makes me mad. Now that I think about it, too, that's what makes me mad too about what's going on now. Like before that came out, it was like they were like marking conversations about that laptop as like misinformation. Then it came out, and they're not talking about shit.
Mark Zuckerberg on the Joe Rogan podcast said they came to him about that. They knew that laptop was going to get leaked. They already knew it was out there, and they came to him and tried to have Facebook do damage control and say, yo, if you pretty much go write us tens of thousands of code that will flag anything that looks like this, flag it and get rid of it, right? Because Twitter, you could post anything on Twitter.
Well, he said Twitter was worse with it.
Yeah, well, they don't flag Twitter like Facebook and Instagram. They got algorithms to to try to find the things that aren't true. So, this information has been out there. But, not defending Trump, but Trump said, yo, we need to be investigating your family. F all this other stuff. Your son is bugging out here. And, they just raided that man's house for, derivative classification issues, right? Like they pretty much said that he had access to top secret stuff in his house, which, you know, a lot of people will get what they call them, GSA safes, where you can have that stuff, you can store it. But you know, they raided that man's house because of that, right? They ain't do that with Hillary. They did it with Hillary after it was confirmed that she had it. But you ain't
33,000 emails she had.
yeah, exactly. Yo,
33,000.
you've been in the wrong for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you not raiding, you know, like, come on, man. If that man is out there bugging, I mean, if anybody got any fiends in their family, you know, these people erratic. They'll steal anything from you and sell it. That dude probably
Right.
leaked a couple secret programs, you know, to get an 8-ball and a couple strippers.
Yeah. And for me, it's like, I know this is all like two sides of the same coin. So I don't even pick one over the other. But what I will say is, I just don't like just the blatant, just like like, what is the word? Like when you're just like kind of offending somebody, or like their intelligence, you're like treating them like they're stupid. Like in our faces, they'll sit up there and be like, like they know we know. And if you go like to a press conference, and like their house secretary, or their, what's her name, the press secretary, she'll blatantly say like that the laptop doesn't exist or anything like that. Like we don't know.
Yeah, that was a
Like
diversity
insulting our
hire anyway,
intelligence. Like,
because she was like, they ask her questions sometimes. I'll be like, dang, she ain't even pretending like she flipped through the book.
right.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, let me see. They talking about economics. She talking about something else, talking about the last episode of Grey's Anatomy or something. I don't even know
Good
what
times.
yeah, like, bro, like, could you pretend that?
I could see them I could see them doing one of these numbers, like, let's all hold hands and sing, you know, pull out the goddamn piano,
Right.
take it back to, you know, Baptist church. Like,
break out a Negro spiritual, just
we're gonna heal the nation. You know, I can see that really going in that direction. And you know, this man, it's just sad because it's gonna work. You know, as stupid as this sounds, that campaign is gonna work. They're gonna catch some dude in a MAGA hat with 2 guns in the truck, you know, riding around. They're gonna do something to generate fear. That's what the Dems do better than anybody else, is use fear to perpetuate crazy laws, right? Like, oh, it's so much abuse for the LGBT. It's so too many letters to go. So now we have to educate youth to not be fearful of these people, and and teach about this in elementary school.
I tell
You
my
know what I'm
son to
saying?
walk out. I say, if they talk to you, so this, or this, I told him, you have my permission to walk out the class. You can tell them to call me.
Word
That's not
up.
their job. Their job is to teach you math.
But how did that
That's
even
it.
get there, right? Like, how did we even
Yeah.
get there, right? Like, you know, not too long ago, remember, they what was his name? Chris Jenner, not Chris Jenner, the dude.
Oh, Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce Jenner,
Yeah,
right?
Bruce.
He kind of was the figurehead. You know, remember he went on the ESPYs and said, "And we need transgenders in the military." You know, and that, you know, unless if Donald Trump then become president, we would have had taxpayer monies to have now 3 bathrooms. You would have had male, women, and whatever, you know, they, right? Because that's the proper way to classify them as they. You know,
You
so
already got family. That's the thing, man. Too. You already got family bathrooms, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it really didn't make no sense to me, man.
but yeah,
Let's
Joe
go to
being Joe.
Joe being Joe. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got quite a few people joining us. The matrons here. Salute to the matron. Oni's in the building. Mr. Untouchable, what up, Mr. Untouchable? Tanzan's here. What's going on, Tanzan? Raw, what's going on with your sister? Betty, welcome. Got new people in there. We got Forecast in the building. We got a bit of medicine. What's going on, brother?
Oh, he lit tonight.
Yeah, we lit. Brother Bakari's in the building. What's going on, bro? Let's see. We got anything going on? You see, you tuned out the last 2 presidency. Yeah, I would too, bro.
Yeah, facts.
It's nothing to see here. There you go. I need a Republican, Democrat, but only guys, man, how black people can have.
Because he had said that black people. Remember earlier, you were like, black people have older black people have Republican values. Or
I think we think conservative values, like we're night. I think that's what you lean to. But I'll let you.
Even with money, you know, about like how how they want money to be, where they want to distribute money to. You see where Democrats put money. You see where they send their money to, right? I mean, we look at the last two plans aimed at minorities. One was aimed at to help black people. One was aimed to help minorities. Which
Asian hate bills and
yeah,
whatnot.
right. Those are, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying either one is better than the other, but you know, for people to say, well, we need somebody to help black people. Well, that's not Democrats. Democrats do not do anything just for black people. Neither do Republicans, but you know, at least on paper, they do things to say, all right, we're going to help you help yourself, right? We're going to put something in place so you can dig yourself out the mud, you know. But
and I don't even want nothing. Just leave me the hell alone. I'm at the point in life was like, bro, I can make or break myself. If you gonna keep it around the board, keep it around the board. Don't get nobody shit. Just leave me alone. You feel
And
me?
that's exactly how I am. Because I'm like, if I depend on you to give me something, that means you can also take it away. I'm good. Leave me alone.
Yeah, just leave me alone,
Yeah,
bro.
I
Let me prosper on my own. Let me fail on my own. Just leave me the fuck alone. Don't try to, because everything they touch turns to shit to me, man.
Every
Like, I
single
don't,
damn thing.
yeah, and I owe you something. You know what I mean? Debt is slavery, bro. So when you give me something, put me in debt, you own me, bro. And I'd rather just, you know, fail on my own. That's where I'm at, yo. Leave me alone. Let me have many guns as I want. Let me open the business wherever the hell I want. Just leave me alone, bro. You know what I mean?
who you feel would be today? Not talking about historically. Today, who do you feel, if you had to pick a party, if you had to pick a political alliance, who would you feel would give you the best chance to obtain those things?
To
Oh
win,
shoot! Wait.
go
No,
ahead.
to obtain your right to be left alone, essentially, summing it all up.
Go to the Bailey. What you got?
Oh, I'll be Republican, but I did want to. Bakari, Bakari asked. He wants you like to explain. He said he hears a lot of black people say that. I know. I hear a lot of black people say that. It's because we do have. I believe we do have conservative values, as far as
I personally don't have conservative values.
like no, I mean as far as like our religion, like the family. Like we're more. How can you say like we're not? I don't think by nature black people are as liberal by nature, like older black people. They're like conservative, like they're into the church. They don't really believe in all, LGBT stuff.
Extra homophobic too. Yeah, old black people.
Yeah, like they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're not
like
liberal.
You girls kissing over there. Oh my God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'd say that. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
it's the term. I mean, that's terminology. Yeah, let me hit this
Yeah.
comment right here. He said,
Yeah, no,
I
I'll
don't
be
agree. I
Republican.
don't agree with the terminology, but it just as at the face value, because they play games with these. You know what conserve mean. You know who they trying to conserve. But just on the face value of what what I'm saying, black people in general, particularly older black people in the South, like a lot of people come from the South too.
Shit, up north too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it more so means like traditional, like not like subscribing to like secular or like immoral things. Like that's kind of what they mean when they say that. Like
I don't think black people should we should define ourselves as either or, but unfortunately we don't have a unified front to define anything, right? So I mean, before you could fix the problems of the whole, you have to fix the local issues and the individual issues, right? Like we always talk about, we know our biggest problem is self-identification. We don't self-identify as any one thing, as any one unit, one tribe. We don't have no political agenda. So unfortunately, we have to play that game. You don't have to play the game, but there are consequences to not playing the game. And there are consequences to playing that game. I personally haven't. I can honestly say, and this could be fact check, I haven't voted in the last 3 presidents because I just didn't believe in none of them.
Oh, I always vote. I only vote because I want to be able to talk shit with with clear conscience. Like I'm not going to complain about something I didn't even do.
I think for me, that meme where you could see the dude putting on his clown makeup. That's how I feel. Like
yeah.
I felt that way with Obama. I felt that way, definitely with Trump. I feel that way now. Like I'm not about. I have a hard time doing anything just for the sake of doing it. I just would rather not do it. But I think for what their agenda is, right? Oh, let's go make these people a big threat. Let's go make this demographic over here are all putting on red hats and giving off KKK vibes a big threat. I don't live my fear of man. I don't. I don't walk around looking at people with red hats on like, oh, he's about to lynch me today. You go that route you want to, and I'm pulling out the RoboCop. You feel me? Like it is what it is, and
I strictly vote just so I can have the right to talk about it. Because I feel like, why you can't complain about something if you didn't like.
I'm not complaining at all.
Not you. I'm just saying I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't complain about.
There's other stuff on the ballot too. Like, they got judges. I think that's way more important. Judges, school. You see the school board, Joe. It's important for those type of things. I think the federal categories is a waste of your time. For the most part.
But the thing is, in some of these states, if you vote Republican, you have to vote Republican locally. If you vote Democrat, you have to vote Democrat locally.
Yeah, those primaries.
Right. So it's like that's stupid. Because what if you want a Republican president but a Democratic mayor? Like that.
But here, thankfully,
yeah. So
you can do rank choice too. That's what people trying to get, where you vote and then like a certain percentage, like, okay, this person, you may have, and they do that overseas. You might have a Republican president, and because the dude, the second was a Democrat, he's the vice president. You feel me? So they do stuff like that.
No, he's saying like you got to register in some places, web. Like you can't like, here you don't have to register as anything in Washington State. You can just vote whatever. You don't have to register.
I ain't been impressed by a candidate since Jimmy McMillan. I feel like he had the strongest message of the decade.
You on the rent? Is you going on the rent?
Yeah. The rent too damn high. What other goddamn? What's the other problem we need? People out here making $800 a week and they rent $2,200. I don't know how people doing it.
I could not fathom.
I don't know how people doing it. Like the rent too damn high party was the best campaign I've ever seen.
You know what you need, bro? It should be like jury duty. That eliminate a lot of stuff. Like you just get a sign you just get a paper in the mail saying, and this year you a congressman. You got 4 years. Bro. You know what I mean? Make it random, bro.
Nah, you want to have mass suicide?
That's crazy, right?
It can't be no worse than these cats.
It's been pretty bad.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It can.
You get a wrong person in the wrong amount of power. You're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? You're going.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got the VA. We got the VA plans on offering abortions to veterans despite any changes in the state's law. Is this kind of part of the depopulation agenda, or do you think this is a necessary thing in terms of people's health, for the health of a person, health of a veteran? A lot of veterans got mental health issues going on. So toss that out to y'all. What you got? Go to L. What you got, bro?
I'm gonna just keep it short. I think because of the demographic being so small, and the institution of what the Department of Defense is, right? Everybody's an asset, right? You're a meat shield. Worst case scenario, they can send you somewhere, take a hit, and you thank you for protecting the country, right? So the fact that you could possibly be moving or be sent to live in a state where abortions are illegal, I think that's more just covering that. Like, okay, we would need to protect our asset if this person doesn't want this, and to go do some illegal shit or go do some fraudulent shit. Now we can't use this asset of as being a military member. So I think it's necessary for the institution to protect this asset. As far as like it being some kind of like, hey, we pro-life thing, I don't think it really has anything to do with pro-choice. I think it's more, oh shit, we got military members, like shit, I think it's more just protecting the asset. I don't think it's anything too deep, even though the article kind of spins it like, we want our women to, let's say it like there. We want to let them know we love them. like that's not how you show a woman you love them, by making them abort their child. I'm sorry. That's just me. I'm more of a pro-life kind of person, but I think that's just more of an asset management type of ordeal.
Well, yeah, they were saying though in this, I read the article, they were saying that in Texas, it's just if the woman's life is in danger, incest, or rape. Those are the only abortions that they'll give. Even even if they're not legal in Texas. So it's not just any abortion, your regular degular, hey, I made a mistake, I may whoop you with the wrong man type of abortions. This is just like if you're gonna die, you're raped, or if your brother may whoop you with you.
So let me ask you
So
this too, because I feel
mhm.
like reading a couple bills, like a lot of that verbiage is in all of them almost, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's we don't allow abortions to be legal unless there's an extreme case. And a lot of the laws, the state laws, they don't define what extreme means. Like it doesn't say like it's extreme if it's rape, incest, like they don't define that, but they allow it, and that's kind of the problem. So what do you feel like there is an issue with the nation pretty much banning abortions or
it's
trying to
hard
go
for
in
me
that direction?
because it's hard for me because I would never get one, and I don't think they're right. But it's like I don't know. It's like a cross between do I need to put my thoughts or beliefs or morals on others, um, just because I wouldn't do it. I do think it's a little weird that people can tell. Actually, no, scratch that. I don't think you should get abortions.
Yeah,
I
I
personally
mean,
Damn,
don't.
she said,
Yeah.
forget it.
yeah,
I
No,
thought
I don't
about
think
it.
you should get them.
with
I
the
just
with the
don't. I don't. I
caveat,
think
right?
there's so many. There's so many things you can do before getting pregnant. So many, like there's so many. Like I've not to put my business in the streets, but I've been on birth control since I was 17 years old. So, and I went out and did that on my own at 17 because I was petrified of my mom. So I wasn't about to get pregnant as a child. So, or as a teenager. So took myself somewhere and got myself on birth control and it was free. I just think like if a 17-year-old girl can do that and have enough responsibility to know like, hey, if I don't protect myself, I can get pregnant, with a child I'm not ready for. Then adults, you can't be out here just treating abortion like birth control like that. There's so many things you can do before getting pregnant.
Yeah, it's like the last result. Like it's
Yeah, like there's
I have nothing else, I
mhm.
yeah, to me, and that's kind of why I want to hear your perspective too. I think that was a good segue from L. It's like, all right, let's
Yeah.
hit a woman's and a mother at that. And
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that changes your perspective too when you actually have a child. We hear so many people's voices that don't even have children on this subject, and it's like, why are you even talking? It's like you talking basketball, you ain't never shot a jumper in your life. It's
Yeah,
like,
Mhm.
you don't have the right to talk yet until you know what I'm saying, you've actually
in the
been pregnant or
trenches.
had a child.
Yeah, if you ain't in the
Right.
trenches, and because I think we all have kids, right?
Mhm.
And nobody understands how what your responsibility is of a parent until you have a child. I sat there and tried to hype myself up, and I tried to define what a father meant. But I kind of, in my philosophy, I kind of let it define me because I didn't have a father figure. But because of that, right, I see how I raise my children, you know, how it may impact society. You know what I mean? I raise my children with the hope that my children can positively impact any community we're integrated in. And I feel like every time you take away from, you know, being able to have a child and on this world that could change the world, all it takes is one kid. You don't know, everybody might have that kid that could solve, the might make the cure for cancer or or make some major infrastructural changes to the world. We don't know that. But not to go down that abortion rabbit hole, because I don't think that's kind of what the topic was. But I don't think the VA is saying anything special. They're not doing anything special. Um,
Yeah, I
it's
agree
the
with you.
VA. I think
Yeah.
we all know what the VA games be playing, right?
Hey, look,
So,
first of all, I'd be petrified if I got an abortion. I probably would be very afraid to get it
hell
from
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Last people in look here, yo. I be scared to let them check my blood pressure, yo.
For
Facts.
Like
real.
you might go die.
I ain't never had a painful dentist teeth cleaning, like excruciating pain, till I got a VA
Yeah.
dentist appointment. Like so.
How you there
I,
tearing up, big 6 foot, 2 feet,
yeah,
tearing up,
and
crying like a
I,
baby.
I still ain't got no filling in some of my teeth from them teeth cleaners, but yeah, I think just the nature that I have a bias against the VA, and they're our service women, we stand with them. Like, sure you do, you know.
Let me tell you, the military tried to give me Again, I'm not trying to put business in the streets, but they tried to give me HPV. I do not have it. Okay.
What?
I don't have it. And it's so funny when I came back from Korea the first time and I was stationed in was it Tyndall? It was Tyndall.
You said they
They
tried
kept
to
telling me I
give you
had it. I'm like, I
HPV.
don't have this. And then they do that thing. It was like right when HPV vaccine came out, and they're trying to get us all to get them. And it was the first time I was ever told I had it. And I was like, what? And I knew I didn't have it because I only had how can I say? I was a late bloomer, let's just say that.
Yeah.
So I knew I didn't have it. No, I'm just saying I knew I didn't have it. And I was like, wait a minute,
It's
hold
time for a
up.
commercial break.
No, but I knew it. But they kept doing those little things, they go in, they have to like microscopic or whatever the hell they go in and they like take a sample from like your like your
Oh, the
uterus or something.
culture.
Yeah,
sample?
they did it to me
Yeah.
3 times and it would always come back negative. And I'm like,
They ain't believe
I'm saying
you.
this all to say they just experiment on us.
You lying.
You lying.
I never had a cavity until basic training, and they said I had a cavity. I'm like, no, I don't. I know I don't have a cavity.
Yeah.
VA wild crazy.
Yeah,
My
I
bad,
ain't no way
y'all.
in- unless they was gonna outsource that. To me, like I said, if you get you get abortion from the VA, but more best of luck to you.
Good check, please.
Yeah, you a brave soul. Let's see, we got any comments? Oh, brother
Mhm.
Wakari earlier said you ain't vote. I think talking about L, you ain't vote for Barry.
Nah, I didn't.
He
vote
got
for
me the
Barry.
first time, yo. That hope and change.
Nah, I
Hope
ain't get
and
him.
change for a 5. He got
He
me.
ain't get
bro.
me. He ain't get me.
He got me, bro.
Nah, I didn't. I didn't.
Salute to Mr. Touchable. He say you don't live in fear. Y'all walking them bulletproof cats right there. Get out of here. Appreciate it, Mr. Untouchable, man. We trying, bro. We trying. Yo, he's saying, hold you. This is a lot of information. Sure is. We trying to get through it.
For
There you
real.
go,
Yeah,
brother.
it's horrible.
That sounds like
Look, it was on
right?
brand with abortions. Okay, y'all gotta look. We're 36.
I think only directing that towards baby
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sounds like homestead.
Mhm.
Oh, y'all. Yeah, shout out to the chat, man. Keep things live. Let's get to the next one we got. Oh, this might be a deep dive. We got Jackson, Mississippi water crisis.
I'll
And
help you
we
guys
had-
take this one.
Yeah, and we had the mayor blaming climate change for the pipes being shitty. And white government state officials. Is this a situation where it's Flint 2.0 or a preview of what might be coming? I think it might be actually a video on here. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see what this cat talking about. Climate change. Whenever I hear climate change, bro, I know some fuckery is afoot, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice yesterday. I mean, anybody in the tri-state, it's a good 69-degree day. Got the sunroof down, windows down last night. So, but I mean, infrastructure is expensive. If you ever had to,
well, I'm gonna toss it to you. What you think about the Flint joint? You got to read the article, right? What you think about Flint, and do you think it's Jackson? Do you think it's like a Flint situation, and what do you think about the climate change angle going?
I mean, it could be. I mean, with erosion over, it depends how long the infrastructure has been in place, right? We're talking about 60, 80 year, and they use, older material, right? Like, we've seen it kind of like in Houston, where they were using metal pipes instead of like PVC. And then once they had a cold ass day, a winter day, a lot of people's homes were destroyed and nobody had flood insurance, right? So it could be, I'm an infrastructure guy. It could be that they don't have enough money to really revamp the infrastructure to provide a safer, to avoid a Flint 2.0. So I don't know. It's sad because you would think that would be a priority, right, to fix. But if you're looking at a budget of $20 million and it might cost $500 million to replace the what's the not irrigation, but the water system, the water purifying system, I don't know how much that costs, but just seeing how much it costs to build a house right now, I'm going to say it's probably going to cost somewhere $100 million. Like, where does that city, where does that county get that money from?
Ain't it like the large? I want to say Jackson's the biggest city in Mississippi. But go ahead, Bailey.
Yeah, but that don't say
Oh no, I
much,
have read that because I know someone who's also was in the Air Force. He's from, I believe, Jackson, Mississippi. He's black, and he was basically saying he thinks it's because they want the federal government to pay for it. But I don't know. He's like a heavy Trump supporter and all that. He's so I don't know. But he said that because they're trying to make it like a race thing. But he was saying that he thinks that they're just doing this because they want the federal government to pay for the fix, so they're not fixing it or whatever.
Have
So
they
I don't know how true that
identified?
could be.
I couldn't
Huh?
find in an article what
Mhm.
if they identify what the actual issue is.
Mm.
Right,
It
like,
might
they
be
don't-
it might be a setup. You think they like
yeah, it could be, right? Because
I
they
don't know.
say, because with Flint, they, we know that the water was being poisoned, but they never, at least I never seen what was the leak, where was the source of the contamination coming from, and why haven't they identified that?
Well,
Right,
they
like,
tried
so,
And why is there a
they tried to
fix?
switch supplies. They tried to switch it from like well water or something. I want to say, and somebody will probably correct me in the chat, but they want to switched it from that to like some lake or some river source, and the pipes just it was so much sediment and all the other crap that it just you know what I mean.
yeah, so they poor planning, right?
Wow.
Sound like a traditional contracting job, right? Oh, we'll take the money and we'll provide you any solution that you want, and it's like, oh, you didn't account for this, buddy, and I think I'm reading through the article, and it says they have about 100 that does not have. Yeah, so really, the city of Jackson, Mississippi. I would like to see the numbers, right? Because even it's like it's a 25% poor. That can be anything. Poor could be a person making 60,000 with $65,000 in living expenses. I don't.
They really poor. Like I got cousins down there in Jackson, and it's like 80% black city now. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. But that's the angle. That's the angle they also try. So to me, it's like, are you in on it as well? I'm like this guy to me. He got an S curve, bro. I don't trust nobody with S curve. First off, but let's see what he's. Actually, let's play this.
That might be his natural
As you
texture.
said, you have been warning about
Can y'all hear
this for
that?
years.
Yeah, I
You've
can hear
been
that.
pointing the finger
He look like Ghost.
Yeah, he
Governor
does.
Tate Reeves and GOP-controlled legislature. This is what the governor says. It will take time for this to come to fruition, but we are here in times of crisis for anyone in the state who needs it. That's my responsibility as governor, and it is what everyone in my administration is committed to ensuring. Do you believe that?
Well, let me say this. I've been lifting up this circumstance amongst many individuals that are in leadership and have influence over a fix and a solution. And so I don't want to put it squarely in one person's lap. But as I think that there is a well-defined record as me lifting that up. But, I'm less focused on that portion of it and more focused on the immediate near term of resolving this challenge. And so there has been a coalition built. The state did join me early last week and have a discussion about supporting us. And so while they're at the table, while they're on the ground with the hardworking men and women of our water treatment facility, I don't think that it profits me or the residents of Jackson for me to take jabs at them. And so, I will say that thus far within that coalition and thus far with the people working on the ground, whether it be state officials, federal officials, or what have you, there hasn't been much stepping of toes of the actual people executing the responsibility of getting water restored. And so I have to be optimistic. I have to make certain that we don't let anybody off the hook and we continue to see this into its conclusion. And its conclusion won't be even after water is restored this week and even after the boil water notice is lifted. Its conclusion won't take place until we can look the residents of Jackson in the face and say, we have a greater sense of reliability, that we believe in this system and we believe in the equity of this system and that certain portions of our city won't be disproportionately affected by this week in and week out.
He said a whole lot of nothing.
Nothing. I was just thinking
He has a cool ass name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's the son of famous like civil rights dude. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But he just said a whole lot of gibberish, yo.
Nada.
When you hear words and it's code words, you got equity and until we can look in the eyes of the residents and say, bro, what are you gonna do? Like your one job as mayor is to make sure people are safe in terms of having police, make sure electricity stay on, and make sure people got water, bro. That's like the 3 things you're supposed to do, bro. The only things you're supposed to do. What are you doing to fix the pipes or fix whatever? You know what I mean? Like he didn't say nothing. I'm finna meet with some people and we gotta look the people in the eye and inequity and this doesn't stop here, bro. What the fuck was that?
Yeah. I don't have shit to say.
Yeah, Sam.
Like a book report, you know how you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so with Johnny Appleseed, we see what happened is he's planting apples across the it's like you saying nothing, yo. It's like the kid who didn't read the book and he has to give the book report, yo. That's what I heard here, yo. It's ridiculous.
That's why
it's unfortunate because it is, there are ties to, I get it, like in areas where there's predominantly Black people and there's this is a disaster recovery now effort, I would think, right? Because if your water supply is horrible, how do you survive, right? So I think it goes from emergency to disaster type of planning, and I would assume, and it's just unfortunate that I think the race thing doesn't help. I don't think it helps the cause. If the solution is to provide people viable drinking water, right, and that you need water to survive, I don't see where race helps the issue. Like even bringing up the stat helps the issue, right? That victim mindset of Jackson, Mississippi is 80% Black. Okay, how does that help? How does that fix the problem, right? Are we just saying that the reason is the premise that the reason why the city is predominantly Black, and that's why they're not getting the funds? Is that what's kind of being said, or is that like the notion of what's going on? And if that's like,
yeah, that's what they're like implying from what I've read.
It's just hard because I know how much it costs to revamp infrastructure. Like right now, if I wanted to put internet cables through my walls in my house, if I want to run one cable and I'm not an electrician, it's probably going to cost me about $5,000. Right? If I'm paying somebody to cut a hole in the wall and run cable from one room to the next, it's probably going to run $5,000. We talking about the infrastructure that's purifying probably a county's water. Everybody that has a faucet, access to a faucet, you have to make sure that every home is getting a standard of drinking water. That has to be an astronomical bill. We talking about maybe hundreds of millions.
Well, that's what the forecast was saying in the chat, and he shot to the forecast because I think he did a drive to help Lowndes County, I think Lowndes or something like that. I can't pronounce it right, but because they having kind of same type of issues, plumbing issues, water issues, things like that. And this is not just limited to them. That's why I say this may be coming to a city near you. We all know that the infrastructure in the U.S. period is dilapidated. It's falling apart. There's been no investment in it. If people say it. People keep getting all these little presidents going to office, say they finna revamp the infrastructure, Ain't nothing been revamped, yo.
Ain't no money.
Yeah, if you ride down 95 right now through South Kagalaki, it's still a 2-lane. It's still the same way it was in the 1950s. This is a major highway going through the whole East Coast, and you got 2 lanes for like half a state. It's unfeasible. God forbid something major happen when you got to get up out of there. So the infrastructure here, you got bridges. I forgot, it was a report saying so many bridges. I think like 25-30% of the bridges and you like don't even aren't up to code. So it's a good situation where it's gonna hit the fan sooner rather than later. If nobody makes, you giving all this money to Ukraine, bro. Why ain't no investment in the infrastructure? You know what I'm saying? That's a national emergency, that in itself. But you don't hear nothing about that. It's just, Ukraine, we need to give money, bro. What's going on with your infrastructure? You feel me? Like we about to be in it. It's about to be a wrap.
Yeah.
So if y'all are gonna talk this green, go to green, climate change, whatever, where are and not to mention if you got a crappy economy, that's jobs right there, yo. People fixing bridges, people running new pipes, running new water, infrastructure and stuff for these cities, that's jobs in itself too. They pick up the economy, good jobs probably too. So to me, it's crazy. It's lip service, man. Like this dude was doing with the whole book report that he didn't read the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like keep hearing infrastructure. Nobody ever does anything. You know what I'm saying?
And it's kind of crazy I was just thinking about this as you were speaking, right? Like the Ukraine, even though they're pretty much, it's like a shadow war, right? We're funding them to fight their own war. So we're indirectly fighting the war for them. But that is infrastructure too for what, the blueprint of what's going on. Oh, we helped you. We put a base here and now we, that's the start, the planning stages of infrastructure. We're just doing it at an international level. But then coming back, it's like, well, how much, or what did they send? $1 billion? Is $1 billion enough? It's the juice worth the squeeze, right? And I'm not talking about from a humanistic standpoint, because we already know that we should take care of people. People are the biggest assets, but they don't care about that. And like looking at it, I don't know if anybody ever been to London or understand how their nation came to power, but they were pirates. They were bougie pirates. When they wanted something, they sent pirates to go rape and pillage, bring it back, and then they made them Navy captains or whatever. And our nation is that. We go out, we set up bases, we pillage, and we give resources. That is the name. If people don't understand how we kind of stay within power and broker deals, we broker deals through force. That's the European way. Our nation is a European nation. So, that's the business that's always going to generate more money. Like they're looking at it like, from the stat, there's 40 or 50 cities in that same perspective, right? How does that hit the bottom line? If that's not like a big city, like Atlanta or New York, it's not going to, it's going to get swept under the rug. So, to me, the bottom line is always going to be at the forefront of these issues, even though there are people dying because of this. There's people that's going to get cancer. There's people that are going to literally die because they don't have viable drinking water. But I don't think that the cost from how the government will look at it, I don't think the juice worth the squeeze. They're like, oh, people going to die every day, B. Favorite quote, people die every day, B. And that's just the unfortunate part of this, right? I just hate to see the predominantly black cities. It's the whole, like you said, the whole infrastructure of the nation is trash. And
but you think people could put something together, and I think that's where you gotta be able to make moves. Like, you the mayor of Jackson, if you got a money pot, right? And I don't know how much of the Rona money they still rolling in. Why you can't hire a company to come in and do something? You feel me? Like, aren't we still in a national emergency for like the third year in a row? Like, what I mean?
But that bill gotta be crazy though. We talking about, like, where does that money come from?
Yeah, I gotta do some research into that, but that's your one job though. To me, that's the one thing you have to do. So bill may be crazy, but that's your job, is to figure out how to make the budget happen on that. That's your one job, bro. Water. I say if the government gonna do one thing for me, make sure the pipes running water to my crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has to be the major focus, I think, of any government, man. And shout out to Brother Bakari. I think earlier he said he from Mississippi. That mayor's weak, but he not lying about the state being against him. But I still think they would want that, revenue from them people. I don't think they would want to kill a whole city, but maybe they do. I don't even know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if the juice ain't worth the squeeze, are they, they gonna be looking at it like, we good, on some Drago shit. If they die, they die type shit. That's what Flint was. Flint was a poor city. Let that been a San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going to see emergency dollars funding. That's kind of what I'm saying. And unfortunately, you can't not correlate race from economics, right? Because there's a strong correlation between them both. But I hate when these articles come up and they use the race as a driving point as to what? Are we saying that we need to help black people? Because historically, we ain't never got no emergency funding for anything. So
that's kind of reverse. Say it's a predominantly white city.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of what. Yeah, like when we leading off this city that's 80% black. Oh, we ain't getting no money now. You know you ain't gonna get no bag. Yo, you think you come again. You know, so that's kind of why I hate these articles where they lead off with these racial stats. If the goal is to fix the problem, leave the race out of it. Because once people see black on it, it's over. We don't care.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. But Bakari says state refused to help Jackson, starting to see growth. The governor said that the mayor and city council will not be able to handle the growth. The governor said the state should control Jackson, I believe he was saying. 18 raise money for the livers. So yeah, that's another thing too. Where the bread going? I read the same thing about Flint. I read Flint got tons of, and that's why too you gotta be careful when they just have these campaigns of donations and nobody's saying where the money is going to. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't supposed to. We ain't supposed to know where the money going to.
I seen Shakari Richardson. I think she was like, "Yo, where to donate at?" I think it would be more beneficial if you go there. You know what I'm saying? What if you go there? What if you try to, organize a track meet? To, you know what I'm saying? Like something outside of just giving money, because obviously they ain't doing it.
I just, if the goal is to solve a problem, leading off the awareness of with journalism with Jackson, Mississippi, 80% black, 25% poor. You're not going to get no money. That's like a female that's never had red bottoms coming up to me and telling me that she wants red bottoms. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Like you can't afford it anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's a horrible analogy, right? but what I'm saying is if we trying to get money to help people, now you put it's almost like redlining, right? Applicant black, throw that shit in the trash. Throw it in the trash. That's how we always been treated. We're going to continue to be treated. It's a supply and demand. They're not going to spend resources on poor black communities. They're not. So that's why they don't trigger me. But like when I see these articles and look at where they're written from, Yahoo, MSN, CNN, right? They always throw the race card out there, but ain't no money.
Same suspects, right?
Yeah, but once you throw that 80% black city out there and we're suffering, they're gonna be like, oh well, what black person isn't suffering? You know what I'm saying? They've been suffering for a long time. They should be used to it by now, right? Like that's kind of demeanor that how we get approached, right? We've seen it, like you mentioned earlier, the George Floyd crime bill. Asians got beat up over like a 30-day period. Got an emergency. I ain't never seen a house unanimously pass a bill so quickly in my 34 years on this earth. So I just feel like what we know is racism. We know what it is. When we say black anything, it's they good. So that's just how I feel. Like leave that shit out of it. Get the bag.
What's up, Bailey? You got anything last words on this one?
Oh no, you guys hit it. I'm not as well versed in these things because to this day I still don't know why Flint doesn't have water. So
ran off with the bag, bro.
It just perplexes me that this can happen here. Like Elle said, like it's crazy. Like we send money to Ukraine and we literally don't have running water in the United States of America. That's crazy to me. Like how it even gets to that point. Like you can't even open a McDonald's without satisfying regulations. Like but the water, this like the resource we need, the element we need to live, and it's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I want a refund on my Ukraine funds, bro. Send me
right. Give us a tax payoff. Like we've been using crack pipes in wars crazy. Where you can't even be black in that country. Them people over there, them black people they was going crazy on black people over there. But you're using our tax dollars, my tax dollars, to fund neo-Nazis over there.
It's like your grandkids' tax dollars at this point. Your tax dollars went to like the first Desert Storm or some shit. That's how far back. But let's get to the next one. We got a little lighter subject. We got T.I.'s son arrested. Rapper issues statement shortly after, basically acknowledging if the behavior continues, he's probably going to prison. Now, is this a case of a spoiled rich kid trying to play gangster? Or is this a subject of parental failure? We've had a lot of people questioning people's parental, particularly celebrities and whatnot. And I believe we got another video. Let me put this up real quick.
I'm going to start off and say, this is T.I.'s son, right?
Like, yeah. Kang. Here we go, right here.
From what I remember, T.I. was hard headed as hell. Wasn't he going to jail like 2-3 times for the same thing?
But you know, he said some real stuff. I'm gonna play this. Y'all can see this right here.
Yeah.
Play this video real quick.
Hey, top of the top. Top of the top. Top of the top. Got a minor request. Got a minor request. Hope everybody having a phenomenal morning. Got a small request, man. Stop hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas? His ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's going to turn out. You can.
May I take a selfie with you?
No, go ahead.
Please.
I'm in the middle of something. But go ahead. This is more important.
Yo.
Thank you.
All right, take it easy. Yeah. So I already had that conversation with him, man. King's a good kid, chasing after the wrong shit. And, you know, I trust in God to deal with it the way that he see fit. You know what I mean? It ain't really shit else. You know, he done got all the whoopings. He done got the punishment. He done did it. He done, you know, did everything as a child you could do to him. So now he gonna have to go through it. He gonna have to go through it and get through it. And ain't nothing me, his mama, or nobody else gonna be able to say about it, man. But I'm gonna love him all the way through whatever it is he going through. You know what I mean? And shit, man, he gonna learn his lessons. Life gonna ain't no, you know what I mean? Life is gonna teach him all the lessons that he need to know. And that's the most that we could do. That's the best we can ask for. You know what I mean? I know who he is at his core. You know what I'm saying? This shit that he trying to, you know, he trying to convince himself of things as we all do as young men and even young women growing up, try to convince ourselves that we are certain things. And in that journey, we find out exactly who the fuck we really is. You know what I'm saying? And it happens when we least expect it. And our lessons come from where we didn't know they were coming from. And it just ain't shit else to do. Ain't shit else to do, man. Time is going to be his teacher. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I hope everybody have a peaceful, appreciate that, bro. A peaceful and productive day. All right? And I'll catch up with y'all on the flip side. Oh, Memphis, I'll be at you.
All right, we heard the King giving out life lessons, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what you got?
I mean, indifferent because I'm a father, and I can imagine T.I., you know, having those conversations with his son. Like he said, it really hit home. He knows his son at the core. Nobody can tell him about his son. I would also say, you know, being raised in a single parent household, right? Being a young boy, I gravitated to father figures, and my father figures weren't always the best. I didn't have ones that were too crazy, but they weren't always the best role models. And we know what T.I. was. We know who T.I. was. Before the gun charges, before the, you know, the man he is today, you know, that like, just like Michael Jordan's son, right? You would just assume that Michael Jordan's son would be some kind of like version of Michael Jordan. You know, there's a pressure. You know, this is why a lot of these celebrity kids, sometimes, not a lot of them, but you know, sometimes they off themselves because of that pressure of being like their father. And King, and for one, he's light skinned. Let's keep it a buck, right? like King's light skinned. Like King's light skinned. You know,
the camaraderie, bro.
You know, like he's going somewhere. Somebody probably, you know, oh, you soft. You ain't your daddy. You know, like we don't know what kind of trauma that young man's been through just being the son of T.I. Right? You know, there's, you know, because I grew up in a time without cell phones, without internet. I couldn't imagine going to school and you gotta, you go into class and somebody pulling up the TI Crime Stopper commercial. Man, your dad a snitch. You know what I mean? Like, like there's so much to unpack what that child is going through, and the imagery that he was raised in. Like, that's not a normal household. So I get, like, I think T.I. is absolutely right, right? Nobody can save him but save himself. But as far as people might be looking at, like, you're already a millionaire, you have everything you need. Why are you acting like that? We don't know what type of energy comes for this young man either, right? So it's one of those things, T.I. not going to say what he doing. I'm pretty sure T.I. might have made him put the gloves on. Who knows what T.I. did behind scenes, and that's the beauty of parenting. Everybody's, your kids, and you got to know, what works for your kids. But I would just hate for this young man to end up in prison, and then that be the narrative that he was somebody he wasn't. And we see kind of the Atlanta scene right now of how they're doing things, right? Affiliation. They're drawing crime affiliation with music, which I don't agree with. But yeah, man, he seemed like he's a kid out there living his life. His life just might be more intertwined with T.I.'s previous life than T.I. might would like. And that's all I got really to say on it is, this is his son following his father's footsteps.
Yeah, I could be. I'm gonna throw it to Bailey. Bailey, what you got?
I just think this kid's a dumbass, and I do. Like, I just think, like, you don't have to live that life. Like, you don't have to live that life. And then again, I don't know what he did. For all we know, it can just be drugs. He was driving. He got pulled over. We don't know what it is, but it's like, it's hard when my gripe with hip hop, personally, rap, is when certain things are glorified in music and lyrics. And then when the chickens come to roost, all of a sudden people are shocked or surprised. Like, do you think these people are just like rapping about things they don't like to be like concerned with or surrounded by? So that's why that's why it always irks me. Like, even like when things in the rap community, like when someone dies, or like, like Lil Durk always looks sad when someone in his family dies, or like 21 Savage. I remember one time he like tweeted about, oh, y'all need to stop doing this. Y'all need to stop killing, da, da, da. But it's all y'all rap about. It's all you talk about. Like, what are you talking about? So for me personally, when these things happen to artists that glorify this and rap about it and want to live it so bad, like, you're already a millionaire. I mean, I don't know if T.I., if he has access to T.I.'s money, whatever, but it's like you grew up not experiencing these things. And then it's like you want so bad to experience these. Let him then. And no, I don't think it's T.I.'s parenting, because like he said, like, you can only do so much to rear a child, and then they go out and do their thing. So like, I agree with them. Like, if they were my child, I'd be like, I did all I can do. Now it's between him and God. But don't talk to me about it.
And that's also, that's also the second son too. We don't see the pressure too that's being this, because I don't hear nothing about that for older son. I know he's trying to be a rapper and doing his thing, but you don't hear nothing negative about him. The older daughter, she grown now. I think she might be a stepdaughter, but he raised her basically. But you won't hear nothing crazy about her. She in media twerking on cars and none of that from what I've seen. So it's like, it's just the troublemaker. He may feel that double pressure on top of being T.I.'s son. Now you the second son, and you just got all that anger bottled up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you got something to prove. You're a young dude. You feel as though you gotta be, and you probably getting tested too. And he's a little funny looking too. Let's keep it.
He's really funny looking.
Yeah, he's funny looking.
I've always had issue with T.I. anyway, because I don't like how people think that his vocabulary is really that great. Like, his vocabulary is really not even all that. Like, it really bothers me.
It's street good though. You gotta look at the the rubric from the trapper perspective, right? Like, he not supposed to be, but
we gotta remember though, I'm assuming we're all 80s babies or close, and we remember he was hard-headed back in the day. He kept getting into trouble for the same damn thing over and over and over again.
That's how he know. That's how he knows.
Yeah. But I mean, this one didn't have to do all that. Like, he doesn't even come from it. Like, whereas T.I. did and then got money, this one has never lived that life. Like, he's never had to.
I mean, but he did kind of live it, right? Because when his dad had to do a bid, he had, like, that absence, the public ridicule, like the stuff that goes on publicly, that those things also the family has to deal with those things too. And it's
No, I mean
probably
he wasn't living like the drug life, the drug
no,
dealing drugs.
but still you have to kind of, the kids, even though he's not out there selling drugs, we don't know what the police were doing. Like they come after everybody, right? And he got busted with guns, right? That's kind of what T.I. got, he rap about doing drugs, selling drugs, right? But he didn't get locked up for having weight on him. He got locked up for having every prestige weapon in Call of Duty history, after his man's got popped, and
Shit.
so we know the lifestyle, right? I kind of, how I grew up, I remember, depending on where I was at, hey Mike, we can't leave you alone in here because we have these guns in these places, right? This is how I protect my house, but you're a child. I can't have you in these rooms by yourself. Right. So this kid might have had to grow up a lot quicker than the average kid. We see it with the celebrity kids. We see it with the celebrity, whether they're their parents or, the children of the celebrity or the celebrity themselves. When these kids have to grow up quicker, we don't really know. Look at Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy, got 2 bodies? Or he got a body?
Oh damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he actually had to kill somebody. You know what I mean? The baby, I think the baby killed somebody before he was famous, but it's
killing people left and right. He's just shooting everybody.
Yeah, he's just shooting everybody. But the type of energy, I'm sure he's not a bad kid, but I'm not a famous person. But I can only imagine the type of energy he just received for being the child of T.I. And he's not a big kid. And he's funny looking. He looked more like his mama than T.I., right?
Right? Wait. Why do y'all keep talking about this kid being funny looking? That is so funny.
Because he's like a character, like a Rugrats.
Nah, he looked like, when you go to the carnival and they draw you like in the extreme. He looked like his life imitating art. Not art.
But that's stigma. That's stigma too, like you saying too. And just in general, like but the thing is too, this is his first incident of being like viral for being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I think he had an incident before. He was in some restaurant tossing stuff and threatening to shoot a Waffle House employee or something. You know what I mean? Talking about getting the tool and all this. Like, yo, you don't have to do. You're rich, bro. Get you some bodyguard. Like, what are you doing? Like right. Bailey was saying, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to be tough? You can afford bodyguards, bro. You can afford send-off men if you really want. You don't even have. Why are you doing all this? Yo, your job should be to protect the brand. You feel me? Like, you can be, because you're the second generation man. You have access to rooms that me and you or anybody else can't get into because you're the son of a millionaire. And your job should be to solidify your family's fortune and not trying to be a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Because gangsters either dead or in jail, bro. That's the gangster life. So yeah, I feel what you guys saying.
And that gets deeper, like even to the conversation about, like, I don't know if you know my friend Shaq, but we get in this little debate all the time about like being a product of your environment, like how far that goes deep, because it's like, I've never been in a situation like, I've always kind of grown up, all right. And he grew up in Staten Island, but
I
know
Shaq. Yeah, Shaq. Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Shaq. That's my guy.
Small world.
But and it's like, is it always the case? To me, it's like, I don't know. Is it always the case? Because it's like, he grew up, I'm sure, in gated communities, had everything he asked for.
But it's also a different dynamic too, because Long Island wise, New York, Long Island is like has a very white culture, and Shaq looks mixed. I don't know if he's mixed, but he looks like he might be Spanish and black, maybe. Right. So where do he fit in his, like what energy? He might have been a token black guy and never had to deal with.
Hey, look, King looks mixed.
He do look mixed, right? So right, if, depending on, now you talking about T.I.'s son, who is in Atlanta, right? Like we know how our own community, how we do each other. We know how we do each other, right? Especially men. We know how we do each other at a young age. It's harsh, and what type? I'm just fearful what type of energy is being projected towards him to make him want to do that. Because I have a lot of friends that weren't street dudes, but because that's the energy that was being even me, I was a pretty good dude, like quiet kid, until that energy. I had a bully would follow me home, big dude too, about 2-3 years older than me. Yeah, I had to that switch. I had to turn that switch on. You know what I mean? And that happens a lot. It's not to me. I don't see a kid that maybe wants to act like this. I see a kid that maybe feels like he has to act like this. And in Atlanta, how they be shooting people out there and carjacking, he probably just being regular. It's just unfortunate that he's a high profile kid. So that stuff happened every day. He just happened. He's going to get targeted more now because people recognize him now. You know what I mean? I just don't know that life. I don't know what it feels to be famous. Maybe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But
He's gonna say but now you put a target on your back as well because now you trying to be tough, bro. But
what if he ain't got no choice?
I mean, and plus, too, we don't even know what he got arrested for.
That, bro. He don't gotta be in the hood, bro. Like you ain't gotta be in Waffle House at 2 a.m., bro. Like you.
But Waffle House at 2 a.m. is the spot. Come on, like that's what I'm saying. We can't.
I literally we don't have Waffle Houses, and I literally just I just smelled it from my memory.
Yeah. You know what the nice is like. Them rock star.
I love some Waffle House at 2
a.m. At 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Why can't he be a regular kid?
But that's my thing is too. That ain't regular because at 2 a.m. Waffle House, you ain't thinking about fighting.
No, but somebody you pulling up in a Benz wagon, 4 models. Oh, you only doing this because you T.I. son. Like, yo, why? You know what I'm saying? Like this, we know this is the energy he's probably getting. Your daddy is
and
snitch.
We don't even know what he got. We don't know what he got arrested for. It could be drug. It could be something petty.
It was some ticket stuff or something. He was out like in a few hours. It wasn't like he was catching a major charge. But it's a down slope though. Once you're in the system, it's kind of down slope.
Yeah, but I think T.I. handled it the way he could handle it. I think I wouldn't put too much emphasis on this kid wanting to be a street guy. I just think, look who his daddy is. If he was a street guy, I mean, is it any fault to the child when your daddy is T.I.? Like,
what's so funny? So as you were talking, I was scrolling on Instagram like I always do. And you had mentioned Michael Jordan's son earlier, like in the beginning of this. Ironically, he came up in my scroll.
Oh, yeah, because they're always watching and listening.
That's crazy. But he was on a double date with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Man, she getting tossed around like a
damn, bro. I might slide her.
He made like 3 albums about that, man. That's terrible. That's a terrible situation.
I'm gonna shoot my shot and see what happens.
That's scary though. You were just talking about him. I just saw that.
Gucci flip-flops. All right, let's go to the next. So we got the BLM, Black Lives Matter. One of their leaders was accused of siphoning $10 million.
One of them, don't they got a whole organization that's like flipping properties?
Man, look here, it's about the third dude that they accused. Fourth or fifth or something. I don't even know at this point. But has a reputation as an organization finally hit the dumps, the doo-doo, the sewage. Do you think they're gonna get any more donations? Or is the jig finally up? Is where I'm going on this. Let me pull the article up, but I'm gonna toss this to Bailey first. The BLM, $10 million being embezzled by this cat. I guess he was sending it to his company, kind of doing a laundering type of deal. What you think?
I'm scared to talk about this because I'm new to this with you, and I don't know your audience.
You scared of BLM?
No, I'm scared to talk about how I don't support it.
This is the slums of KWAZ. We can talk. Okay.
I've never have. I've always thought it was Now, I'm gonna be clear. When the movement, okay. I didn't like I'm not down with the organization. Never have been. I've always thought it was kind of funny.
It's real funny.
Because it's like, where is the money? Like, where's the money? Where, and not all that. What have y'all improved? I haven't seen any.
Have you looked at the mission statement?
No. I saw that. They're against the nuclear family. What else was it? They're like pro, and there's nothing wrong with it, but they're pro LGBT, whatever, trans, whatever the hell.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with being black. You can be, why do you specify the sexuality of a black person if you're trying to represent all black people?
Exactly.
They just didn't, but so I digress.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
I've always had a side eye to it. I always have. Yeah, when so much money was being given and we weren't seeing what it was doing, there weren't like schools going up, neighborhoods being improved or whatever. That's when I started having a little side eye towards it, the BLM movement. So I don't support it. So that's why I was a little scared to talk about this.
I mean, should we have a responsibility as Black people who champion BLM? Because I know a lot of people that was out in the BLM marches.
Mhm.
But as a collective, like a hopeful collective, should we be doing our own audits?
I
Why are we
mean,
leaving the government to tell us what they're doing? They're using the black struggle. They're trying to provide solutions, right? Essentially, like if I'm thinking of BLM or trying to understand how they're servicing Black people, right? They're trying to provide solution to civil rights problems, right? So shouldn't we be auditing BLM?
well, and that's the thing too. I've read that what was it? Not that it's being controlled by, but I don't want to misspeak, but
Yeah, it's the guy. I forget his
it's
name.
the yeah,
It's the same
mhm.
guy that's
Yeah, you
funding
can't say
like
that name on this.
yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
what I'm
you're
Yo,
saying.
right.
you talking
You're
about
absolutely right.
Doctor, what they call him? He look like that dude from Sonic. What was the doctor
I
name?
think he got
Yeah.
the black boyfriend too, right? I think he got the black
Yeah, something
boyfriend.
like that. Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
that guy. We know who you talking about.
Uh,
Yeah. But yeah, they affiliated with a lot of those organizations. Actually, are affiliated with they got a whole worldwide network. But thing is too, it's like supposed to be a difference between the local BLM chapters and like the national whatever, right? The national organization. And those are the ones that's supposed to be collecting all the donations, right? And they supposed to be dispersing them. And this guy, I think, is took over as the national of the national global network, whatever. And that tell you in the name
that's
too.
crazy.
Global
Global
network.
network.
Yeah, okay.
Damn.
So he's basically taking over for Patrice Cullors and those characters who got outed out doing Cadillac commercials and what they got to do with Black Lives Matter. I don't know. Flipping mansions and one chick employing her baby daddy and paying him crazy bread. It's just constant controversy after controversy with this organization. And this is just the latest. I don't even know how they still in business at this point, and there's so many grassroots organizations you can donate to that are doing their thing on the ground. It's like whenever you donate to somebody that has commercials, you putting your money in the wrong place. Somebody had to pay for them commercials. So part of your money just going to commercials, going to advertisement. They got an advertisement budget, bro. Like why isn't that money going to people who can help? Like you said, I've never seen a book bag drive. I've never seen giving out turkeys at Thanksgiving. I'll never see anything tangible in the Black community from Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out where the money is going.
And 10 million is light. I'm just gonna say that, like, the amount of traffic they've generated and the amount of like awareness where people really were like die hard BLM. Because remember, right? BLM was the protagonist to MAGA. Right? Like that was the two opposites, the spectrum. Mm-hmm. It was MAGA and BLM. That was the media target was BLM. MAGA rose from the BLM chants. Right? It was, and then that was the warring faction. So, it's kind of like if you are a champion, right? They probably generated hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm thinking 10 million is like, we got caught doing some fraudulent shit. But they probably peddling hundreds of millions. Hundreds. Like I'm pretty sure they probably $1 billion institution.
Yeah, I remember when the George Floyd thing went down. It was like billion. Like I seen John Cena gave like $1 million. Some little pop group. What's that little thing that's popular? They gave $1 million. Like people was giving $1 million donations to this group. And then if you look at anything that happened in the Black community, there's nothing. There's no new schools. There's no new after school programs. It's nothing.
They was killing our brother Umar for trying to build a school, right? Oh, he embezzling money.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, of course you're gonna you gotta stuff your pockets so you give yourself time. But we talking about an organ. I said institution, and BLM is not an institution. I take that back. Unless they can show me a board of engineers or people that are actually solving problems through engineering or reverse engineering, they're not an institution, they're an organization.
Man,
So
why ain't
like
they dropping off a bag to Jackson? They should be dropping off, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Going, like you getting all this money, we shouldn't be even looking for the white man to go fix our our water supply issues. If you got money like that, if you telling me it costs me hopeful, I'm thinking it might cost like 200 million to really fix what they need to. I would just assume, but say it's 15 million, you can get a contractor in there to at least mitigate some of the issues or remediate some of the issues for 15 million. You telling me this dude, one person, is siphoning 10 million. One person in their board of their key stakeholders. That means it's hundreds of millions flowing through. But we looking for the government to fix what? A poor black community? We should be going straight to BLM. Like, hey, bro, we put you here. We run that check. Matter of fact, I need cash and put in that Bergen sitting on your desk.
Run that bag, bro. Look, he look like he buying red bottoms or something. Look at him. He look a little zesty, bro. But shout out to Bobby E. Wright, yo. Thank you for showing up, bro. Matron, BLM is not accountable to the black community. And what reality would an organization submit to an audit by black people? There's no leader and there's no facts. We need an army, yo. We need a drop squad, yo. We need a drop squad in here.
But
yo.
shit, we the ones that boosted them.
That's crazy.
I don't know if we the ones that really. Now they came up, they came off of Mike Brown situation, bro.
Yeah.
And so them people's out there actually putting in work. These people came.
Well, they offed all the core BLM people.
Oh yeah. They just
they disappeared.
In the bed and burning cars.
Yeah, shot twice in the chest, once in the head.
Suicide
in a burning. Crazy.
South only said, "Dang, 10 million is light for BLM. I ain't got. Oh, you trying to grift? I know Oni was gonna grift one day, bro. You might as well go ahead and brace your roots.
I'm just saying, if you got a board of stakeholders and one person got 10 million, I'm just gonna assume that all of them touching that kind of bread, and that's not even going into the money that they probably, the real estate. What that one lady had like a mega mansion that was like their what was that? That mansion was like their community center or something like that. Like they probably got a real estate portfolio out this world.
Oh, they do. I think old girl had like 6 mansions or something like that.
Yeah,
it's a big business, yo. And then like you said, man, only time they and then the crazy part is the founders are supposed to be lesbians, yo. But the only time
I think all of them are.
Yeah, but the only time they care about the black man is when you're dead body. So you're not sleeping with us, but when we die, you're the first one to show up to grift off the money of the dead black man. And it's predominantly dead black men who end up, you know what I mean? And now you collecting donations every time. Ain't cut the family a check or nothing, It's crazy. It's crazy, yo. But finally, hopefully we can get them about it at Heard and Sean King, bro. I think we finally.
Yeah, Sean King made a big come up during Mike Brown, during what's the other one? What's the dude that be on CNN? Always be crying.
Oh, Van Jones, bro.
Van Jones, bro.
Oh yeah, the Amazon dude just gave him what, a few milli just to do what they want to do with it.
They all fruity, bro. I ain't no man giving no millions of dollars to do what you want. You doing something for that.
Yeah, Van Jones look a little zesty too.
Yeah, this dude Van Jones ain't afraid to do something strange for a little piece of change over there. So
we getting banned once the Skittles get a hold of this episode. All right, let's go to the next. Let's go to the next topic. Y'all got anything left on BLM, or have we beat them down enough this episode?
I've always been on him. What they call him, Talcum X, Sean King.
Is that the right word?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Or
let's get to the black
Martin Luther Cream.
Oh, y'all got the post. I'm gonna post it later, bro. They got wrestling names for him now, yo. It was some of the funniest things. I can't even remember them joints.
No, he aggravates me so much. There's a lot of people on the. I mean, there's very few people that can get to me like he can get to me. He is so annoying to me. Like, I don't even think he like. What is it? Nah, I'm not gonna start. I'm sorry.
His
I'm
whole
sorry.
shtick is like, I got beat up. It's like, I got beat
Yeah.
up being half black.
Ugh.
Then you out your moms. I hate to go on Sean King. It's like, my mom's cheated. Nobody confirming this, right? But you probably threw them a bag, so they shutting up about it. It ain't like that other chick, which her name Rachel Dozell.
Oh yeah.
All. So
he
he
ain't
probably
cheating if you ain't trying though. She
Yeah.
she tried. She
Yeah.
tried all the way. I applaud her.
She's around with box braids right now.
Yeah.
She like, this who I am, yo. Is Rachel.
Shit.
Yeah. But let's get to the next joint. I'm ready to move on. We got the last topic of the day. We got the black capitalist debate. I wish our resident socialist Lero was here. So I was gonna have a good debate, but shout out Lero, we're gonna have that later. We had comments from Jay-Z sparking the debate on if capitalism has been beneficial for black people. And we're going to pull this video up real quick. Oh, Jay-Z.
See, Jay-Z my guy, but
he said something akin to calling people a black capitalist was akin to calling somebody that.
Yeah, it was. And I didn't like that. And so that's my guy.
Ooh, this is gonna be good.
We're not gonna stop. You know, the hip hop is young. We still growing, and we're not falling for that technology, whatever, you know, this public puts out there now. That, you know, before was the American dream. Pull yourself out of bootstraps and you can make it in America. All these lies that America told us our whole life. And then when we start getting it, they try to lock us out of it. They start inventing words like, you know, capitalist and, you know, things like that. I mean, you know, we've been called nigger and monkeys and shit. I don't care. Those words y'all come up with, y'all got to come up with stronger words. When I say y'all, I'm not talking about you. The words they come up with, they got to come up with stronger words. We're not going to stop. We're not going to be tricked out of our position. Y'all locked us out. Y'all created a system that, you know, doesn't include us. We said, fine. We went our alternate route. We created this music. We did our thing. You know, we hustled. We fucking killed ourselves to get to this space. And, you know, now it's like, you know, eat the rich and think, man, we're not stopping. So that evolution is, you know, from us, you know, we came from selling 7 records and selling records out our trunk, and, you know, no radio play. And I think Reasonable Doubt did 36,000 the first week or something like that. I may be adding a little to it, you know. So, you know, I come from Marcy Projects. In my first house, 615 Lexington Avenue, my grandmother's house, 7 families lived. Like, she has 7 kids. My mother and, you know, my parents and siblings lived in that house. My aunt Niecy lived in that house. Booty lived in that house. Butchie lived in the basement. I mean, this is one house. I went back to that house. I did an interview with Oprah, and I couldn't believe how small this house was, that all of us lived in that house. So, again, that evolution that you speak of, it's just real, and it's happening in real time, and I'm talking about it. And, you know, we're not going to stop, and we're not going to stop talking about it. You're not going to trick us out of it and make us feel ashamed to be successful in a place that, you know, set up a system for us to be dead at 21.
I don't even see how that was controversial, but
L said he didn't like it.
No, I mean, I just feel like, because of what Jay-Z is. Jay-Z is a whole capitalistic machine. Like, I get what he's saying, right? It is, you know, anytime we break out of the system, they want to create a new system and label it. I get what he's saying, right? At a high level, but I mean, just looking at the actions of Jay-Z, right? Like, you know, wasn't he, you know, on the board with the NFL, right? At the height of the racism in the NFL, Jay-Z hopped on board and made a bag off of it. Regardless of what services he did, he still made a capitalistic bag off of racism, the NFL being racist.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I had those same thoughts too.
Like, I mean, I love Jay-Z. That's one of my idols. Always been one of my favorite people. Like, you know, people I just looked up to. But I mean, I don't think the topic, right? Like, just to answer the question, does capitalism, does it benefit black people? Well, it benefits some black people, it won't benefit most.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just
Yeah.
all people. Like, if you have a system, the system is never intended to benefit everybody. It's intended to benefit the most valuable.
Yeah, resourceful.
Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
I try to tell that to people, like, and they almost like want to bite my head off when I say that, because it's kind of like, okay, you look at us, it's 13% in this country, right? Like, all 13% is not going to be you know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like when we have these conversations, kind of like, to me, I get this feeling like, it's like when people speak on things, it's like, do you think we're just all gonna make it to this certain level? Just like
Nope.
all white people don't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just like all white people don't, they're like 70% of the population. A very small bit of them are billionaires. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like
Yeah.
sometimes when we talk about stuff, it's kind of like, well, okay, we are such a small part of this
Now,
piece of this pie
now I get what he
already.
was saying too, though, right?
Yeah.
What Hove was saying is the system wasn't designed for us to win. And when we started winning, now you want
Right.
to group us in with you. We weren't playing by your rules, but I get what he's saying at a very high
Yeah.
level. I get it. I feel it.
Mhm.
But you're playing the game. He's playing the game better than almost anybody, right? We kind of see what he's talking about with Ye, right? His counterpart, his verse, his controversial verse on Khaled album, God did, right? He said, my house brought in 4 millionaires.
But
or 3
see, my only
millionaires.
issue with the God did, I don't like how he speaks as if I hate, because I believe in God, and I don't play about God. I just don't. So I don't like, to me, that my issue with that verse was that wasn't about him being, braggadocious about his money or being a billionaire or whatever. To me, it was like, I don't like how he seems to kind of like try to play God a lot. I don't like that.
I think
And that's why I never
Jehovah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why you
Hov
will never
did.
hear me call him Hove. You just won't, because I just feel like he's just a dude at the end of the day to me. I know a
Well,
lot of people.
they say, God made man in his image.
I get that, but to me, that's kind of like a little like, come on. That, to me, that's blatant. Like, you're playing off of God's name, calling yourself a God, Jehovah. Like, to me, that's a little much. Now, it's okay to like to say, like, even like the baby, how he calls himself baby Jesus or whatever. I think that's a little much. Or I don't like how Kendrick Lamar is walking around with like a bedazzled like crown, crown of thorns on his head. Like, some people just take stuff too far. Like, you just rap. That's all you do. You're a
They're
dude at the end of the
entertainers.
day.
They're
But
entertainers.
don't play with God to entertain. This is what I feel. So I don't, that's why I'm not really a big fan of Jay-Z, because I don't play with God. Like, after this world's over with and all that, like, you're not about to like send me to hell just because you can rap, nigga.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
and
yeah.
he's really
Yeah.
not even a rapper anymore, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big Hov fan. My whole persona
Yeah.
was based off of Hov, right? But Hov
Mhm.
is a machine right now.
Mhm.
Like, Jay-Z is like, we talking about somebody that's far surpassed Diddy
Mhm.
as far as just influence. Like, Diddy was the god for years.
Right.
Diddy got Ciroc. What black person was drinking Ciroc from
Yeah.
2000?
Get it,
Diddy
get it.
juice had some bad nights off the Diddy juice, right? Diddy devil juice. That's what we used to call it. Diddy devil juice. Honestly. But right, we talking about a man that has now almost is the face of hip hop. I would say that Jay-Z is the face of hip hop. When you're talking about rap in the institution of rap, I will. And granted, he's not that, right? Because there's way richer white people behind the scenes of music in that entertainment space. But when I think of like rap royalty, if we had to say like put a king behind it, it'd be Hov. And Hov is the one brokering deals. Now he's doing some good work, but I mean, there's still money involved. He's in the capitalistic world. He's at the top of the capitalistic world, and I get it, right? He can be unapologetic because he can go into a boardroom and be exactly who he is, and it doesn't, he can go in there and shake shit up. But I mean, like it's a spectrum. You can't have rich people without poor people.
Right.
You can't know what love is without what hate is, without knowing what love is. It's a spectrum for me. It's always about balance. And I just think, when I get what he was saying. Like, don't call me a capitalist because that's like don't do that. Your system wasn't built for me. I'm something much more. I get what he's saying there. I get what he's trying to say, but bro, you are a capitalist. Like, you bought title for some money. You sold it for some money.
He said, I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what you think a business is? That's the most capitalist system you can get.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like you might as well just embrace the title.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, why is that a curse word for you? You a capitalist. You sell a product and you make bread off of it. You know. I want to go back to what I think Bailey was saying earlier. Like, it's another thing too. It's like everybody don't have the same work ethic, yo. It's like when you young and you kind of like, you doe-eyed and you kind of naive of the world, and you go out there into the work world and you go out, or you join mills, whatever you do, right? You go out there and then you start to see the divide of people who get it, right? It's people who work their ass off and work extra and find other ways to make money and get a side job and do this and save and read books on finance. And then you see the people that just kind of complain all day. The people who barely show up to work, people call in half the time, or they fake sick, or they fake up. Bro, all people ain't created equal, bro. I don't care what nobody say. You know what I mean? Like, you can say whatever you want to say behind that, but all people ain't created equal, neither are they work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Even doing this little platform here, you know what I'm saying? Like, gotta find the topics, gotta, you know what I mean, pay for this, pay for that, and do this and organize that. Everybody ain't gonna do that. You feel me? So it's like, it's just people that are just different than other people. You just gotta accept that. So should you not be paid for your effort? Should you not prosper from your effort? You know what I'm saying? If you put in extra work, should you still be living at the same level as somebody who don't do shit? Ain't trying.
Yeah, I want to ask you, L. Yeah, I may have missed it, but what exactly was your issue? What he said?
So essentially, right? If you're gonna allude to, like, I get not allude, but what he said was factual. All right, but if you have an issue with the system that you don't want to be a part of, then what's the replacement? What's the replacement for capitalism, right? For all black people. If you don't want black people to be a part of capitalism, then what are the terms that we should be using? Where should direct us, right? You at the top of the food, you the tip of the spear, you the tip of the iceberg. You show us where we should be at. And what should we call it? I don't mind, I just have a problem with you when influential people. I get what he's saying. I agree with it, but what's the replacement? What's the alternative?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
So, in terms of the terminology, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Why change the terminology, bro?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not to me, it's not that deep, right? Because it is deep. I get what he's saying. And right, Hov is like, Ye goes through it all the time. Ye just a lot more public with it. But Kanye started off with Nike, right? They didn't give him the creative control over Nike, despite he crushed Nike. He crushed Nike record. Ain't no Jordan did what Kanye did, right? Goes to Adidas. Adidas doing the same thing, stealing the stuff. He unhappy. He goes over to Gap. He said, "Yo, Gap ain't never sold a $400 coat ever. When did Gap ever have anything that was $400 in the store? You slap the Yeezy name on a t-shirt, and now you're selling Gap t-shirts for $80, and they still shafting them, right? So I get it. I get what he's saying. He going in these rooms with people that they don't care about him. They don't care about them at any level. I get what he's saying, right? Ye is kind of show you that no matter what his status is, right? Billionaire, this and that, they still treat him like a nigga.
Hey, El, can I play devil's advocate though?
Yeah.
I've noticed though in these type of conversations, because while that may be true, but I truly believe that big corporations like that don't give a fuck about nobody.
Yeah, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's my point. So it's like, why do we, because we're just, talking about Kanye West and because he's a nigga, he's always gonna be, but it's like they treat everybody like that. And the only reason why I get like this, I love Kanye West. Don't get me wrong, I love him. To me, he can do no wrong. But
it's the stats though, right?
But yeah, but again, we're such a small thing. How can we even correctly know the stats though? Because we're such a small, like.
But we're consumer. We're the consummate consumer.
Yeah,
we don't produce.
But that's
we don't
our
produce.
we're the ones who can make that. It's our fault that we keep consuming.
Yeah.
Like for example, I looked it up before. Like I believe like the white man keeps their dollar within their community for like I think it's over 30 days. Like the Asian community. No, I think the Asian community is the highest.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
the white man. And it's like black people, we keep our dollar in our community for like 6 hours.
Yeah, it's like 6 hours. But
So
you
it's
know,
What you gonna buy from another black man? That's kind of
I know though. I
standard
say that, but it's like we can't keep it like
But what I'm saying is, right at the term of capitalism, right?
Yeah.
I got a closet full of Yeezys, right? Not, you know, I digress. I have issues. Grew up materialistic.
That's another conversation.
Right?
Like, why
but
is he selling shoes to us for $200? You need to be selling
exactly.
that to me for $80.
Is that not capitalism?
Yeah.
Is that not capitalism? Right? You're like by definition, you are a capitalist.
What makes me mad about Kanye though, because I love him like the way you love Jay-Z. Kanye, like you told us, like back in College Dropout, how it was.
This ain't the same Ye.
Yeah.
This ain't College Dropout. Ye had a black
That's
girl.
a different dude. Yeah, that was a different cat.
He married a woman that known has herpes 1 and 2.
Oh,
and he married her.
Oh, we getting deep now.
I'm just saying, like,
no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Right, Amber. Ever since Amber Rose, he became a different guy.
Well, he legitimized it. To me, he put them on the map, yo.
He did.
Like they was like mid-tier. They had a little reality show, still eating off that OJ money. And to me, the affiliation with Kanye boosted. So you boosted a whole demographic of people who have
you gave validity to a whole
detrimental.
Exactly.
You know, because look at it now. People now the BBLs cultures.
Oh, everybody looks like a Kardashian now.
Yeah, you basically was very detrimental. The moves he made, he could have did something very. To me, he could have very changed the culture, changed the way we do things, and he didn't choose that route.
He could have changed the imagery.
Right.
Like Ye, who Ye married had a bigger impact than like when we think of Jay-Z and like that's the standard, right? Jay-Z and Beyonce for whatever reason. But Ye, because he was more relatable, had the opportunity because he says a lot of things, but he does the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
When he broke up with Kim K, what did he? I think personally, he might have some. I think he might have the hurt, right? Like he just accepted it, and then he just says, "I'm gonna keep it around with the white women." That's what I think. On some preach. I'm serious.
How'd you go to that route? Oh, like
because right, he went from Kim K to a bunch of like coke whores, bro. Like
for real.
He went to like coke whores, and it's like, you know, he seems a little bit more enlightened verbally, but nothing he's doing matches. To me, he's the biggest capitalist. This ain't him saying anything, but he preaches one thing, right? But then does the other. He get people spun up. Yep. Yo, I hear what Bush don't like black people. You know what I'm saying? He get people spun up, and then
hey, look at this supports Trump.
Yeah, I mean, he not selling them Yeezys. That's cloth. That ain't leather on them shoes. That's rubber and cloth.
And that man legit got what they call that. He's legit schizophrenic, bro. Like if you ever watched that documentary, they got when he just go off on tangents, yo, and people just like ignore it. So this man is a walking.
But
if he wasn't centric, but most people who are creative are centric. You know, they got mental issues. To be that creative, to be and honestly just focus all the time. Like I think the hardest thing to me, anybody that create a successful business in that sense, they kind of all on the spectrum, yo. Because to be hyper focused like that on one thing, I may be intelligent, but I'm doing 85 things at once. You know what I'm saying? Like with a point, I can't like build nothing because I'm like, oh, okay. Even now, I walk in the room and think of 85 things to do while I'm walking in the room to do. You know what I mean? But these people can be hyper focused on one thing and build that one thing up. Like to even make beats. Has anybody ever attempted to make a beat? You know what I mean? Like to me, it's the boringest, most like meticulous thing you can ever do. You know, so to me, to even kind of follow Kanye as though he's this guy, he makes music, yo. I think we need to stop trying to put all these titles.
Exactly. No. What you're saying, that's how I feel about Jay-Z. Like, and Kendrick Lamar. Like, end of the day, all y'all do is make music.
Yeah,
literally.
Music, bro. Like, we need to stop putting these on God tier pedestal.
Yes.
Whereas though, like, oh, you're this, you're that. You're an entertainer, bro.
You just make music. That's why yeah. That's why with Beyonce, like, I don't like these weird, like, praising these human beings. All y'all do is make music. That's it. Like even like Beyonce's dad himself even said she's not even. I don't want to get to the beehive. I'm just saying he
Definitely don't
said.
want to
I
do
don't know
that.
if it's true, but I mean the dad did say like she's not even literate. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but
She
we
don't need to be.
praise these. That's my point. Like we, I don't know. Like don't get me wrong, she does make good music. I love Beyonce like as an artist, but it's kind of like it's weird to me that we put these people like on these pedestals. It's like they just make music.
But
That's
even
it.
like what the topic is too, right? Like somebody could be like, man, I'm not a capitalist. I'm a this and this. Like, okay,
Mhm.
cool story, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
But
like
like, yeah.
we run
No.
with what
Oh,
people
go ahead.
say so heavy in our
Yeah.
community, right? Like we take things that sound cool, right? Obama got away with it for quite some time. He said a lot of things that sounded cool and never made no sense.
Exactly. No, same with
And we
no,
ran
for
with it.
real. I was getting to it with someone the other day. I was like, if you look at how the world's going, like Michelle Obama and Barack Obama were standing Jay-Z and Beyonce like he wasn't Barack Obama. Like they were looking like they were happy to be sitting next to Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
Barack Obama. You're the first black president. Like, what are you doing? Why are you fangirling
But
Beyonce?
that say a lot about Jay-Z. That say
No,
a
I'm
lot
just
about
our
Hov.
culture. It's like, why are y'all like you're the first black president of the United States of America and you fangirling Beyonce and Jay-Z?
We got Jay-Z saying, don't define us as capitalists. But
why is that a bad word though? Because I like capitalism.
because it was created by shit, me too, you know, but it was created, the system wasn't created for, there were so many laws in place that gave us an unfair start. I get what he's saying. Like we should be looking at, we the ones that break the barriers and set the trends. We the ones that overcome things and create new standards. So I get
Right.
what he's saying. I get what he's saying, but like, come on. Like the thing is, it's the people running with stuff before they have the opportunity to learn. You can learn about capitalism. You can learn from. You can pick stuff from
Economics,
things.
period.
Yeah,
Bro, people
period.
argue
Like,
No.
economics.
This makes me mad. This conversation always makes me mad only because you can sit in a conversation like this and every time we know we're the biggest consumers. We know that. Yet we continuously consume into the things that we complain about.
tell me
We're the
about
reason, like, if we're the biggest consumers, why are we not, like, we're the ones in control? Yet we're sitting up and complaining like we're not the ones in control.
Mhm.
That gets me. That just gets me to me. Like, don't buy things.
Well, that take effort, you know. And people go for the easiest route, right? People go for the easy. Not to mention, we are so media consumed. I saw a stat
Mhm.
the other day show how many people like the hours that each demographic watches TV, and guess who was number one? You know what I mean? Like we just a media
Yeah.
absorbed people. I like the Asians was like the least, then it was like
Mhm.
white people, then it's black people, like over
And for
3
us to
hours.
be smallest, for us to be only 13% of the population, but we're the number one consumers. We're the number one consumers of products, of social media, of media. It's like, come on, like at what point are we gonna be like? That's why I like that he said that. He's like, when Jay-Z did say, he was like, what's wrong with, wanting to be a billionaire, being a billionaire or getting, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, what's
but
what's
but
wrong
the
with it?
biggest assets in our black community, as far as money wise, are our entertainers.
Yeah, and there's a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
problem right there, right?
yeah.
When if he wasn't such a, he shouldn't be one of our most influential people.
I agree.
Right.
But because he is, I just have a problem when you're speaking to the masses, and a lot of people do not have the mental capacity to
Mhm.
extract information and use it without saying, "Well, JC said it. This is the law."
Right,
You
yeah.
take out bits and pieces of it and apply it to your life, right? And right, because that's what smart people do. You don't have to make the mistake to learn from the mistake, right? So he's giving a testament of probably what he's going through, right, at a high level, and what he has to go through and what he's learned. But I mean, Jay-Z is probably one of the number one influencer. So is Beyonce, right? So when you're saying these things, it's people out there that haven't even started, and they're going to say, "Well, Jay-Z said this. I'm not going that direction."
And
And
remember
that's
when
my
Beyonce only gave $100,000 to HBCUs to split between 4 schools?
I mean, that's probably more than a lot of them schools were getting though. Word.
$25,000 a pop. That's
You know,
probably alumni that get more.
No, yeah, but those schools don't generate you know, they don't get like the same donations like do now. Granted, we know they billionaires, but that's you know, but she did just make a lot of money off of the HBCUs, right? Because they did the
Exactly.
homecoming.
That's why I had an issue with it. Like,
Yeah, so
I'm not
I got
typically
you.
in someone's pockets, but I'm like, you went on this whole like HBCU inspired tour, probably made 10 times that, and you
It probably
gave,
was the dopest thing she ever did too. In all
yeah.
honesty, that might have been
Mhm.
like the artistically the best thing she ever produced.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but then she just she's kind of pandering too, but she's kind of like leeching. You know what I mean? Like,
Kinda.
Capitalism.
yeah,
It's,
but
it's
that ain't
capitalism.
even capitalism. And then too, when I one thing I wanted to hit on too is there's a difference between like capitalism and crony capitalism, right? Where you get a monopoly based on government being favored towards you. That's crony capitalism, where you bring in lobbyists to get you like what's that one chick, Pelosi, where she every stock, you're literally in the federal government, and then you playing in the stock market. So any of these bills you vote on, your husband just buying up the stocks, you making millions of dollars off the stocks, and she got outed for that, right? That's crony capitalism, where your government is in bed with these companies and things like that, showing favoritism to certain companies. You know what I'm saying? To me, though, capitalism isn't bad because you're basically your worth is determined off your work or what you create. You know what I mean? That in itself is inherently fine with me. You know what I mean? But once you get into where you're doing things where the government can hand out contracts or make monopolies on their own. Look at your power company in your city, yo. Can't nobody else provide power in your city except that one power company. And they're really a private company, but they sanctioned by the government. So to me, when you got stuff like that, and that's why prices be locked in. They can charge wherever they want. Where else you gonna go? What you gonna go to the next? Where you go? Leroy's Power Company? Nah, you got one power company. You got one provider of water. You got one provider of this. And when you have them type of things, that's why you have the situation where you got in Jackson, where we can't come up, where you can't have competition now. This is the company you have. You work with them. So that's where we at. That's crony capitalism to me. And I think people can't distinguish the difference between capitalism and this fake hybrid socialist capitalist monstrosity that we working with here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's kind of what Hove is saying. But I just it's not that I disagree with what he's saying. I just hate that in our society we need to be careful of the message where I feel like because T.I. does a good job at this, trying to create revolts and revolution without anything backing it. Right. And not saying that Hove isn't doing that, but all it takes is an idea to spark a change.
And it's probably the wrong messenger, to be honest with you.
He's the wrong messenger. Yes, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, he's the wrong messenger. Like, he's definitely the wrong messenger for that. I get he's giving a perspective based upon, his journey. But like, there's a lot of people that haven't even started that journey yet that look up to you, and they might take this and not understand, right, what you're saying and why you're saying it. They might just look at it like, oh, fuck capitalism. I don't want to be a capitalist. Because Hove said it, right? They're gonna misunderstand the message and go on this other. I know people that they be like, oh, I hate the government, this and that, but you literally live off the government. Like, literally bills, housing, food. But somewhere in somebody somewhere got you saying, I hate the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not
when they
something
feed you and clothe you and
how could you hate the person that's the foundation of your survival? And we do that a lot in our community. We catch things that sound trendy, right? We're very charismatic people, right? We're all gassers. We grew up off gassing people, and I just don't want our martyrs and our leaders and our most influential people, which just happen to be athletes and entertainers, to be sending off messages that deter people from things that can propel them to success. And that's my only issue. That's my
That's
only
cool.
issue.
Yeah, I agree with L. Like everything. I think my only part that I'm sad about is like because people do follow Jay-Z the way they follow him, and like usually he can do no wrong. Like I've been in rooms with diehard Jay-Z fans, right? So it makes me a little sad that like
I'm
y'all
a
think
diehard
he's
Jay-Z
doing
fan.
something wrong when he's speaking like something he needs to be talking. Like I feel like he needs to talk that into our
We got a
community.
lot
Like
of dummies.
yeah, like
We got a lot of dummies
mhm.
in our
And the
community.
emotional intelligence is very important, and it's
Yeah.
something that is lacked. You know, I'm not gonna say it's a collective because I don't speak for big groups of people. I just don't do that. But I'm saying it just seems and that this is a lack of emotional intelligence because it's kind of like, come on, like, and it's how we're programmed. You know, it's like to say like, oh, you know, success. Why is that? Why is it negative that he's? I
And
don't
look who
get
he's
it.
talking to. He's in like a clubhouse or something room with
Yeah.
DJ Khaled. It's probably
Mhm.
millionaires in there. He's talking to his people,
Yeah.
you know, and
Mhm.
it just happened. Somebody record that and leak it out. And now you have, like you said, you got people who overly emotional. And
Yeah.
people don't go by logic and reason, and they don't examine like, oh, okay, who is he talking to? Who is his target audience? Okay, I
Right.
see where he's going. Now it's like, oh, Jay-Z, he compared capitalists to the N-word.
Right. Like
Like,
what? Like y'all cool with Jay-Z when he's talking about I don't get it. Like you're cool with Lil Baby and the baby talking about murder and you're selling drugs to your community, da da da. But when this dude gets on freaking the spaces on Twitter and talks about making money, it's a problem. But it's okay to talk about making money off of selling drugs to your community, though. That's okay. But because now it's called capitalism, you don't like that word and it's a negative thing. I don't like that. Like that's my issue. That's my issue with this. It's
the
kind of like
dope game is the most capitalist game in the
for real. No, it
Shit.
truly that literally is what it's modeled after. Literally, like all jokes aside, like
Shit.
supply and demand, monopolizing corners.
Shit, music too. You could die and they still making money off of people.
Yeah, like
Word.
come on. Like it's crazy. Everyone's always gonna have a problem with something.
Yeah, shout out to
And
brother
that's what gets me.
Bakari.
It's like you don't think you're worthy of being a billionaire, and like it's okay. Like, and that's the thing about capitalism. Like, while it wasn't probably built for us, the cool thing to me about capitalism is it's still you can still attain it. Anybody can attain it. Like, yeah, it may be harder for us, but like you can still attain it because it's capitalism. Like,
Yeah, to a
that's
certain
kind of like
extent. They do pick and
yeah,
choose who
oh yeah,
certain people are plants.
hmm
Like Jack Harlow. How the hell he's fucking
exactly.
but
No, but I'm saying like capitalism is what makes it so that like anyone can not you. I'm not necessarily saying it's easy for everyone. I'm just saying capitalism makes it so that the money's out there for you to get. If you can
well,
find
you
a way
got
to
a
get
chance.
it,
You got a chance.
yeah,
At the end of the day, you have a chance. Any other system, I
yeah,
would say that you're subject to whatever they say. Like if you're in a socialist
right.
system, a communist system, we need 12 doctors, we need 37 lawyers, we need 5 people to pick up shit. And then you may just be one of the
Mm-hmm.
5 people to be a shit picker upper. You know what I mean? Like you don't have a choice in that matter. At least in capitalism, at the end of the day, you can be like, yo, I want to try to be a rapper. I want to be an entertainer. I want to be a doctor. I
Right.
want to be a lawyer. It may be harder for you. It may suck. You may have to go through more barriers than anybody else. But at the end of the
Right.
day, you can try to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
It's taxes I don't like. I
don't
hate
get me
taxes.
started. Don't get me started on it. But I think that's all I got to see. You got anything else? Any parting word on that, L, or what?
Nah, Ho's my guy. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Capitalism, it is what it is. And you know, I just to me it's not what he said. It's not who he's saying it to. It's our community's inability to ignore, or see the
Yeah.
context, read the room, right? They say a person being able to read the room is a important key to have in life, and I don't think we read the room too well as a community as a whole,
Yeah.
or we wouldn't be going to Spanish people and Indian people, and anytime something happens, we try to champion everybody else to help us tear down institutional racism and things of that nature. But yeah, whole
It's like
what
what
they
Brother
say.
Oh, sorry, I'm interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's just like what Brother Bakari said, like when he was like, black people is too gullible. That's true. Like, I don't know if I would use the word gullible, but I would say like, yeah, it's like it comes down to emotional intelligence. Like, it's the very reason why like we're always so quick to invite people to the cookout. or we're always so quick to forgive, even when people don't ask to be forgiven. You know, like we're the only race that's we're so forgiving. We're so like, hey, you can come. It's like someone can do a dance. Oh, you're invited to a cookout. It's like Jewish people aren't like
dance
that.
that everybody else do, and you like, oh,
Yeah, like
he's doing it. Little white boy's doing the shimmy. Oh, you can invite them. Yeah,
That's
that
so
always
true.
bothered me. That's crazy. It's like, I don't know. You're right on that. It was just too enamored by trinkets, yo. Too enamored by people doing things and just want to be accepted by everybody. And that's part of self-hate as well. There's some bit of self-hate in there, whereas though when you see somebody, you know, taking on your customs, your traditions, or what you consider your culture, you kind of like, hey, it's validated now. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but other races, there's like more like their gatekeeping is a little like there's a little more to get up in there with them. Like you can't get in with the Jews like that. But with us, it's like you can do the Dougie and then you win.
Yeah, you can be a star. Let you go there try to do a river dance. Let you go to Ireland and be trying to be the biggest river dancer in all of you know what I mean?
Right.
They're gonna be like, nah.
Yeah. It hit me when Elle said that earlier. And when Elle said that, it hit me when Elle said that because that's how I am. When he was like, I don't live in fear. Like it doesn't move me. I live that way too. Like it doesn't move me if someone doesn't like me or if as long as you don't come up over here with that and you're not trying to harm me or mine. I'm good. I'm not out here like living for acceptance from anybody else. It's just
and you can bring it over here to me. I'm type like, yeah, all right, cool. Like when we fighting, like
right.
No, when you getting knocked out. That's real hopeful.
I think that's lacking in today's. I hate to say that though, but not enough people getting smacked up, man. Like it's
I agree.
Crazy stuff coming out the side of their neck with all types of insinuations, not afraid to say anything. There's no level, and social media is part of that. You know, you don't have any kind of respect for getting smacked in the face, yo.
We're too forgiving. We are. I would even, we don't gatekeep like we should gatekeep. And that's just the problem right there. That's the problem. It's just like anybody can infiltrate it, but when you try to go over there, they don't do that for you. They don't do that for you.
Soul food spot in Little China. Let me see. Shout out to Brother Bakari too. They don't treat everybody like they treat black people. Facts. He think Oni says he think the Kardashians big. They was big, but he put them on another level, yo.
They wasn't 3 billionaires in the family.
Hell
yeah.
He put them
on.
They
knew what they were doing when she got with crazy ass Kanye West now. Because she was friend zoning the dude for like 6 years before they even started dating.
Yeah, see, Brother Bakari said it too. You know what I mean? Yay. Every champion black people then go buy this new Yeezy. and I'm guilty. I just seen I gotta confirm on the app.
Somebody said something. Maybe this, I don't want to like elongate this episode, but somebody said something too. Oh, Kanye said it. How they just want them to make them little designer babies. And then they're attacking the character of these dudes. Like they want Kanye to spaz out on Instagram. Like they want that. She wants that.
They get paid from it.
Yeah. Well, and she knows when it goes to court, it's like this dude was spazzing out on Instagram.
Ain't no reason to take him to court. She already owned half of the Yeezy brand. She ain't gonna get
for custody. When they go in there about custody, like he's showing his ass. That's why she doesn't respond.
Well, we know how custody work in this.
He done up anyway. Just the mental health thing.
Yeah, he ain't winning that. He know he ain't winning that. So the only thing he can do is hit their pockets by saying obscene things. It's actually pretty funny. But also
he's basically saying like all they want is, that's why he was like sperm donors. He was like all they want is these mixed babies, and they just want them for themselves.
They want that God gene, right? They all went after rich black people or athletes. Remember Kim K initially she dated all black athletes.
Yeah.
At least half black athletes. All of them were Reggie Bush, Miles Austin, Chris Humphreys. We talking about like genetic monsters, like 6'8" monsters, and same with the sisters. All of them, if they weren't athletes, they were rich rappers, and they all got mixed kids now. Their whole family is black.
But my thing is though, I can't even feel bad for them because like y'all know. That's what I don't like. Well,
I feel bad for him because when he say things like, "Yo, this weird guy over there tattooing my kid's name on his body and don't even know them,"
that's hella weird.
And society says, "No, you're weird, Kanye, because you should just accept Kim's new boyfriend." Like, yo, this dude is, nobody's doing that. Like nobody's doing
No, I'm
that.
definitely team Kanye, but I'm like, dude, you need to be more smart than this.
But
Like, 'cause
Kanye West,
you're out here
like,
looking crazy.
he picked a known porn star, right? At that point, she distributed her own sex tape,
Yeah.
right? After it leaked, she owned it and then redistributed and got a check, right? And
Oh, that was her
so
mama.
they're both they all benefited from it, right?
Yeah.
But like imagine I don't know what your status is, right? Boyfriend, husband, but imagine you had a tape out there. And now your husband, like that mental anguish from having, like, I'm pretty sure people was sending Ye all kind of stuff, but like that tape was pretty graphic and pretty
It
impressive.
was, yeah.
It
I
was
saw
pretty
it, yeah.
impressive. Like, damn, you doing that off the rip with Ray J? Let me go slide in your DMs too. I could probably definitely bag you. You letting Ray J, but I digress. I feel like Ye is Ye. I don't think we should even be I always look at Ye as when he had that MAGA hat on. That's the image I got of Ye. Keep that energy, bro.
Jay went bonkers though after. I mean, not Ye went a little. I don't want to excuse it, but he did get a little crazy after Donda passed. He did. Like that triggered it. Because they do say like when people do have like mental health issues, they say like sometimes you can always have it in you, but there's like an event that can trigger it, and like it just like comes, like.
Well, that was his piece. That was like the part that kept him. She knew him best, and she knew how to calm him down and the things to say to him. So now he don't got that. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's kind of been searching for that ever since. But that's all I got for that. I ain't gonna keep you too long. I know I kept you past your bedtime.
West Coast. I'm worried about you guys.
Nah, we good, but
I'm about to turn up as soon.
I ain't gotta go to work. Anybody gotta work?
I've been drinking champagne, so I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, we
Oh, you lit over there. You already know.
Look, it's Labor Day. I'm about to go to Labor. I'm about to go to Mariners game tomorrow. I'm excited. So
but go ahead. I'm gonna let you. What you got to plug there, Bailey? I know you got the new pod up, so I'm gonna give you your minute to shine. What you got?
Yeah. So no, I just started a podcast. I didn't. I actually reached out. It's so ironic how this happened. So I don't know if you know this about me, but I started during COVID, I started taking up web development. I taught myself how to code.
Yeah, another IT person over there. I hear you.
That's real. I'm actually legal by trade, but like this is like my little side. I want to change careers. So he has these really dope. He has what do you call them? Courses. He has courses, and a friend of mine put me on to him. So I started following him on Twitter. And he said he was about to start a podcast. I reached out to him, like, I podcast. He was like, let's do it. So we just started a podcast. He called it Money Phone Podcast. He named it. I didn't. But we had our first episode this week. Ironically, it was because of Jay-Z. He was saying, like, the money phone is like that first little, that's that first little, when you finally made some money, dudes always take a picture of the money phone. Like, that's like the first, like, I made it.
Is that what that means?
That's what he said. Like, that's like it's like a symbol, like it kind of signifies, like.
I think mine was when I threw my first rack in the strip club, and it hurt.
Hell no.
But I was good from it.
No, it didn't. We didn't have money fights in the strip club, bro. Stop playing.
Yeah, I mean, your money was a little bit different than mine at points in time. So I was just trying to make it through the 12 rounds over there. Captain Jack Sparrow over there throwing money.
Hell.
You said too much on the pod. Go ahead, baby. What you got?
No, so like when I reached out to him and he was like, let's do it. Like he was ready to do it. So we did a first one the other day. But he does like reaction videos on his own. He told me I can start doing my own videos, blah, blah, blah. But it's just getting started. But
so what is the premise? Like, what are you going to be delivering to the audience?
So he wanted it to be like money, tech, the culture, blah, blah, blah. So
well, bring me on. I'm a tech guy by trade.
are you?
Yeah, I'm a IT engineer right now. I'm not going to throw out the title because I always do.
No, he said it's going to be a revolving third chair. So yeah, just let me know because he said I can do my own stuff too. So we can definitely do something.
I love talking about IT in the Black community because this could be a tool. I don't think it should ever be permanent. And I think, there's a lot of opportunity, especially with coding, because you could do freelance stuff. And I know people that travel the world and they work from home, their hotel room. And I think there's a lot of opportunity, just like baseball, right? Like a lot of black families don't teach their kids to play baseball. I'm one of them, right? But
Right. Yeah.
baseball is one of the most lucrative sports. You can have a 30-year career in baseball.
Exactly.
And same as with the tech STEM, right? They say STEM now, right? Engineering, math, coding and things of that nature. So I'm very big on African Americans embracing, the more tech side of the house, because it's integrated with everything that we do, from this podcast to going to work to putting your time cards in to whatever. Gas is automated. Like there's no physical pumps anymore. And infrastructure mainly. So yeah, it's that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope.
That was actually my motivation, like that freedom, like because they have a lot of remote jobs, like being somewhere and still being able to work, like having that like freedom. So that was actually my motivation for learning, because I was like, I don't want to be like, 'cause I want to move to the East Coast. I want to move to Delaware. That's like my goal.
Mm.
So
Tax havens, you trying to stack that bread. we see you.
but no, so like that's what I'm doing. That's it. I mean,
Sound like a good start. And anyway, we can help you on this end. Let us know.
Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, but I can be found at the Bayway on all which outlets. It's like play on my name. My name is Bailey, but so that's that. I'm terrible at this type of stuff. I'm terrible at plugging myself.
You did good. Make sure y'all follow the Bayway and the Money Phone. Make sure y'all go subscribe to them. Matter of fact, do it right now.
Yeah, let me put it. What you call it? Yeah, I'll put it in there because we're just getting started. So
definitely. And make sure you check out her talk too with Cannon Hotep. I think that's a couple months ago, but it was a dope conversation, I think.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. Elle, what you doing these days, bro? What you got going on?
Bro, I ain't gonna hold you. I've just been running these streets past 2 weeks. I'm in the church. I need some deliverance. I'm gonna tap back in. I've been enjoying life a little bit. Just school about to start. It was my son's birthday this weekend, so we do it up big in the family. Had this party from Friday, Saturday, and for the most part, I've just been chilling, bro. I'm not even really trying to do too much. I'm not gonna hold you. I just been very just taken back, looking at life from a perspective of my journey, right? Moving back on the East Coast, and I sat back and said, man, young brother, I did pretty well for myself last 4 years, and so I'm kind of going into a new space where I just been feeling real creative, and I have a problem with execution. And I've been really trying to drive home a lot of the project management skills I've been developing in my career to launch some of these things. So, and which has been pretty interesting because it's the little key things where it's like I'm stuck between, do I do it the right way or do I just jump in and see what happens? And then people telling me like, oh, you should do this. And I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Or, so it's kind of like I'm starting to figure out that, because I'm introverted by nature, but I'm seeing the benefits of social media. I am not a social media person. If somebody asks me to repost something, I don't know how to do none of that shit. But the more that I'm outside, I'm like, okay, there's influence in just being able to articulate myself a certain way and be of a certain type of stature, right? You know what I mean? I think not a unicorn, but you know what I mean? I'm about 242, 6 foot in IT. You know what I mean? People be thinking I'm a linebacker. And so, I'm able to reach people a certain type of way and influence people a certain type of way with, just kind of breaking down cultural norms. And that I'm kind of into that. I don't know how to make that work or how to make that translate to anything. But I'm trying to figure that out. How do I use kind of my journey to help issue in maybe a new generation? And filling in all the gaps in between, but that's about it.
Word, definitely. And shout out to little L, man. I remember he was a little baby, bro, and now you getting old, cat.
Yeah, bro. The grays in my beard. So That's crazy.
Because I was gonna add you to the they got the KWAZ little group chat, but I'm like, this dude L don't fucking fuck none of that technology shit. But I'll relay everything to
Yeah, you better off just calling me on the three-way. I don't do the chats.
Yeah, he don't do none of that. So I'm like, I'll relay whatever needs to get through to him, I'll get to him. But,
you know what it is? I gotta see a level of fraudulence before I exchange information. We gotta be out in these streets together one time before I start leaving my information on any group chats. That's just how I roll. But
yeah, that's what I'll say. I already know how my crew gets down. So, but salute. And also check out, we bring the Present series back this Thursday. I'm doing an interview with a entrepreneur. And be looking for that. I'm gonna keep it on wraps who it is, but be looking for that this Thursday. I want to say 9 Eastern. So be looking for that.
Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday, bro.
Damn, you ain't gonna drop. See, now this is when you need to text and drop the. I hate surprises. You better tell me.
Man, bro, that's 4 days, 5 days, man.
Bro, that's 96 hours, is it?
We're gonna talk offline, bro. You know, I'm keeping these people all night. But on behalf of everyone here at the Harsh Reality Podcast, I gotta say peace and thank you for Bailey for coming through. Maybe we can coach you for another episode.
Appreciate you for having me.
Oh, that was dope. We're gonna get you on here again, yo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, D-Web. I remember when you first started, so it's really cool to see you know how you've been evolving.
Yeah, I need some money. Hey, go to that donate. But hey, we out, man. We love the shout out to the chat too. We kept live.
Wait, hold on. Before we go, if you are a BLM donator, I would just say I'm not going to tell you we're going to repurpose your money for anything productive, but at least you could give us a what they call it, like trips, a sponsored trip
offering.
Or like a sponsored trip, you know, you know, if you want to see some shit, you know, El Miguel DA night out is generally like it's hard to explain.
And that's not going on the airwaves. Scratch that. That's a terrible idea.
Nights, it's a great idea. You need to tap in with the audience.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we can do trips though. I want to do that though. I really do want to do a live joint one of these days.
I could fly out there.
Yeah, we're gonna make some go to Atlanta or something. We're gonna make something happen.
We can do Houston. I like Houston.
All right, we do Houston, bro. But on behalf of everybody here at the Harsh Reality Podcast, I gotta say peace.
Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-black perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.